We are live, allegedly live. Welcome to Milk and Cigarettes, where we're all on a journey.
Oh,
Hi.
How did you land on that name, by the way?
I was laying at night and I was like, what's the mood? I think the mood right now is, I don't know if there's a way I could just put the background here. The mood here is you're on a nice long journey away from what is familiar. We're going to venture out into a bit of the unknown, a bit of the fun adventure, the loneliness of free thought. And we are going to talk about whatever it is that people talk about in that little diner you see there. So, yes, milk and cigarettes, because we ain't coming back. It'll never be the same. I was thinking, because I was going to call it the Almost Friday Show. My wife told me that's boring. And I was like, okay, how about the Milk and Cigarettes? Just call it Milk and Cigarettes. Not even the Milk and Cigarettes Show. It's just Milk and Cigarettes. And I was like, that kind of, I allowed that to come off the top of my head. And it kind of thematically works because we ain't coming back. Benign Number Station, good to see you again. Our defender of the faith. Let me turn my volume up a little bit. Yes. Tonight we're going to talk about a little bit of victory. So after a raid, a Viking raid, after a successful battle in the Holy Land, after a successful journey into the unknown, whether that might be if you're out in this lonesome road here. I also just chose this because I like the Western aesthetics. When I rode my motorcycle through the United States all on my lonesome, I would go through places like this. I had ChatGPT generate the prompt, but the urge after a bit of a journey to gather around the campfire and talk about where are we now? What are we now? What has changed? That is what I want to talk about tonight, because it appears that we did not need a civil war. It appears that did the battle get won? I don't know. And I can't help but wonder if this banner here is true. Were the accelerationists wrong? I'm going to actually edit that and put a question mark because I don't know if that's true or not. I'm going to also scroll it.
I mean, so battle one, we won the first election out of, essentially we need to chain combo this to like get our country back to like reasonable, sane enforcement of its laws, upholding of standards, provide room for both like economic and cultural thriving. Because it turns out we were doing a lot of shit that actually like really messed with that.
Yes.
Like we put a bunch of irritants in our system, and we got societal inflammation. It's like, well, take out the irritants.
And it's not just within; it's kind of outside the country as well.
Yeah,
it's sort of like not just poisoning within, poisoning from outside, and getting a lot of other countries really angry.
We had a gunfight with our spouse in our apartment, and the gunfight is resolved. We do have to clean up, and the spouse is not, the abusive spouse is not quite passed yet. However, the neighbors have seen some fallout, hence the smoking bullet holes. We apologize to everyone else in the world. When America coughs, everybody gets sick. Hey, John Javi, it's good to see you.
Hi.
So, I mean, yeah. The victory we won is okay. We're removing a bunch of the irritants that are making us unwell, and it turns like this is the important thing. Like people come up with these big convoluted epicycles for how you have to tackle power and like how you have to deal with this system or that system. Like Bukele discovered a lot of this. Initially when he came to power in El Salvador. Like, well, if we take away the gangs, there's going to be all this economic drop off because so much gang money is going into like huge percentage of movement in the markets is driven by gang activity, and like, well, we have to do. And they found out they just took away the gang activity, and the economy recovered just fine. Like you don't need big complicated epicycles. Just stop fucking things up.
You can just do things. Shock.
Actually, that was a fortune cookie I got a few years ago.
Stop doing stupid things.
No, yeah, it was stop compulsively making things worse. Like, that's the strangest effing fortune cookie I've ever seen.
Is that the truth of it then? Is that our pursuit of stopping things from getting worse actually makes them significantly worse? Like, maybe it's best just to, like, if you're gonna quit alcohol, just stop drinking. Or if you're going to lose weight, just stop eating so much. As I once said erroneously to a girlfriend when I was in high school, don't do that.
Well, I mean, there's a bunch to it, but like mostly, you know, the natural trajectory of human beings is to build things, to, you know, accumulate capital in the broad sense, to make their world more livable and make their lives better. You know, the natural trajectory is humans going out of their affairs, you know, about their affairs. Yeah, there will be like conflicts and stuff like that, but the general trajectory naturally is upward and to the right. This is not an endorsement of Whig theory of history, but this is just the general direction of travel. If you stop
I was going to say, to add to that, sometimes things get so big when we build so much that it almost becomes unlivable. Like, you think about all the rule books growing and growing. At some point, you have to have some level of destruction of all of the mundane. Clear things out so it becomes more easy to understand.
We're being very abstract right now.
Yeah, the up and to the right trajectory. The up and to the right trajectory involves creative destruction. There must be periods of liquidation and reallocation of resources.
Right. Which, you know, by the way,
all those caveats.
Which, by the way, is evidence that
I'm not endorsing like.
There's a bit of delay on your port.
Go ahead, please.
No, we're good. We're just some delay. So if Alex is about to start talking, just give him like a few seconds. And Alex, when you're done talking, just give us a few seconds. But yes, the creative destruction necessary means that norms are bullshit. There's a couple of different words, code words, that I know are now bullshit. Everybody in the audience, tell me what you think about this. Lowering the temperature is a bullshit phrase. I don't want to ever hear it again. The other phrase is norms. I don't want to hear about temperature and norms. This is an interesting subject that I don't know if we're going to get into it tonight, but someone made a complaint that Republicans are not turning down the temperature. I replied to them and says there's no reason for the Republicans to do so. And also, the only countermeasure to one side turning down the temperature is that the other side hasn't already jumped over what is normal, right?
Right. Calls to turn down the temperature are basically like, let us consolidate our gains after assassinating one of yours without reprisals.
Yes, exactly.
Like, exactly. Not that the reprisals are assassination, but that it's actually like just enforcement of, you know, our laws and standards.
Essentially, what's happened is that the Republicans have a casus belli to do whatever they want to up until actual death, right? We wouldn't. Right. I think Republicans would actually probably have a problem seeing an Antifa person being shot to death unless they were posing an immediate threat. Yeah, as big and scary as Republicans can be, but yeah. However, whooping their ass and then throwing them and then having them cry in a chair next to a brick wall is pretty funny. So there's no reason to feel bad. The thing right now is the pearl clutching norm lovers are the ones who are getting their butts whooped right now, and it's just going to continue. There is nothing stopping this anymore. The accelerationists were wrong in that I think they created this abstract future of extremes. I call it the 40K effect, the Warhammer 40K effect. The reason why Warhammer 40K is such an enticing setting is because everything is already so extreme that you don't have to worry about morals and norms. It's a pure fight for survival, right? And it's with massive numbers. So it has all the trappings of nationalism. It's not like Leonardo DiCaprio's The Revenant, right? Where it's a fight for survival on the individual level. It's a fight for survival on the civilizational level.
Oh, God, that reminds me of Space King.
Oh, yeah, I love Space King. Yeah, I got the hoodie over there, actually. I bought the hoodie. It's a great hoodie. Great hoodie. Yes, the thing is the accelerationists were wrong in that the borders that you had to do, where things are actually going to go were not nearly that extreme. What actually happened is that we got tired of no offense to little sisters, but sometimes little sisters do this. We got tired of our little sisters playing with the toys, so we just smashed all the toys with a hammer. and that was the end of it. Like it's just over before it even started. Sorry, what?
I said, well, that's not very nice.
Yeah, smash them. We're smashing the federal government right now. Donald Trump is in the closet with Scott Dissent and this guy named Vaught. They're in the closet with hammers, and they're just smashing all the toys.
Lord, I wouldn't quite describe it that way, but I have heard the allegory of 1984 being very much a little sister government, which is kind of accurate.
Now the Democrats are absolute little sister. The shaming, the calling on other powers to rein them in, the strike as they cry out in pain, sort of stuff is very little sister.
Yeah. Big Brother wasn't as accurate.
Now, Big Brother be absolutely based, Chad. Big Brother is actually a better. Starship Troopers is probably Big Brother.
Yeah, probably.
The only Norm you trust. Yeah, I like that. The only Norm I trust is Norm Macdonald. Peace be upon thee, Norm Macdonald. Man, if ISIS blew up a bomb and killed 50 million Americans, could you think of the backlash against peaceful Muslims? Oh my gosh, it's a shame.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, Norm. I feel like God allows people to live for as long as they're needed and not much more. Because, like, all right, you guys can't get too much of a good thing, okay? Because then you don't have to do any work. But Norm was right. People are finding Charlie Kirk tweets from like years ago. They're like, damn, he had a tweet for everything. SPLC is a terrorist organization. Like, damn. How is this man without a pulse so on the pulse? Man's a prophet. You know, what are you going to say? He spoke truth. Speak truth, you get superpowers.
Speak truth to get superpowers. I like it.
Hell yeah, you do. You're allowed to talk shit. Who is the OG shit talker from the Potsherd Gate? Luna, do you remember Old Testament?
Was it Elijah? Are you talking about? Like,
I think so. Yeah, he was basically
a couple of them.
Yeah, he was pretty much told to go to the different gates of Jerusalem and just tell everybody they're doing wrong and this is bullshit.
There's a lot of prophets. That may have been Jeremiah, maybe?
Jeremiah, that's the one. Yeah, he was like in every other chapter. So it was like every chapter he's there talking shit because God told him to. And then the other chapters of like, God, please stop making me talk shit. Everyone hates me and I'm going to die. And God's like, nah, dude, I got you. Keep talking shit.
That's like all of the prophets.
It's like all the prophets. It's like, you've got to. I mean, he's the original poster. He's over at the gate just posting.
Elijah's the one that had to go against Jezebel and was like, where's your God? Maybe he's going to piss somewhere.
Are posters prophets? That's interesting. Posters, prophets, and martyrs. That's the right-wing movement, right? It's actually about the right-wing movement, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've got great intellectuals. We have shitsters, and we have. Oh, good.
True prophets are always hated in their own time.
Yep.
That's always my excuse. Right. Back onto it. Accelerationists were wrong. I think right now we're at a place where the right it's the first time the big brother has decided to slap the little sister in the face. The little sister's been doing shit on us years and years, decades. And finally they went too far. And we smacked them in the face. And mom and dad are sitting there watching it, and mom and dad aren't doing anything. There's no one there to hold us. Yeah. Who is mom and dad? I think mom and dad are posters now. They're on our side.
Wouldn't dad be Trump right now in this allegory?
You know what? Yeah, actually, because he was much more merciful in the first term.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen an entire family align against the little sister, as I have, and as I've made to be through my silver tongue, I managed to turn my mom against my own little sister once, and it was like so awesome because I was like, this absolutely, she has it coming. She's been an awful brat, and guess what? Once you've given her a good smack, everything falls apart. I don't remember which like Family Guy. It was some. I don't remember which piece of fiction it was. It was some comedy show where it's like the main character finally just punches the big bad in the face, and the big bad just like crumbles. He just can't handle it. I was like, ow, what do you do that for? Oh, ow. I was like, yeah, we finally actually hit you back, and now it's like you can't take any of it. The left can't even take a sombrero meme.
Oh, that was hilarious.
This is
It's like you guys have been posting about JD Vance for months, and we all thought it was hilarious. But then the one time, sombrero. Oh my god!
We finally found the weakness is jokes. Like the right is immune to jokes. We don't care. Ted Cruz was the Zodiac killer. Okay, that was funny as hell. I don't know. That's just super funny to say. JD Vance has been memed to hell and back. Like he's essentially become some like Baphomet style spirit that is now summoned into different forms. Like he's transcended human form. And
first face, that face.
I know there's jolly JD Vances. I saw JD Vance made into one of those supercharged like quad damage power-ups from the original Doom, where it's just a sphere of flesh with a JD Vance face on it. Actually, it's one of my favorites.
Was it in Britain that they had that rally where they had the giant balls with his face on it?
And all the right wanted to do was buy some.
Yeah.
Well, yes, they can't handle it. Like now the temperature is only just now starting to get turned up. Like we're at 5% capacity of what the right is actually capable of.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the right is fair. Okay, other than like online X posting pants shitters. Hey, howdy doodly. Man, it's good to see you join us. Other than the pants shitters on X, most people are pretty satisfied. Like Trump has higher approval than Obama did, apparently. Okay, whatever. I mean, numbers are fake and gay, but it's nice. I don't see people. There's not a lot of resistance, right? And
except for extremists, there's not really a lot of resistance.
They're kind of like that's the whole thing, right? It's like, the population isn't honking. The clowns are always honking, though. It's like you can count on clowns to honk. My gosh, that's like a vocal exercise. Generally speaking, I think we're kind of happy with the pace things are going. Things are if you ignore X, right? If you ignore X and just look at the progress, this has been an incredible 10 months or 9 months or whatever this is, right? Like since the beginning. When did he first start? January 20th, I think, is the first day of the presidency. Sometime
in January, yeah.
Yeah, it's sometime in January. So he's been at this like 8 or 9 months. Holy shit. This is the entire military is now getting purged through for standards. It's the Department of War. We moved Space Force. We passed the big, beautiful bill. We've defunded illegal aliens getting Medicaid. We've deported 2 million people, which, by the way, I don't think people realize we've deported 2 million people. ICE captures are actually very much a small portion of what's the deportations, because most of them are self-deports. It's like 2 million. Holy shit. Which, by the way, is not nearly enough. We do need more, right?
Yeah, we do.
And this is the problem with the pants shitters, is they're not happy with levels of progress. Okay? They want it all now. It's not going to happen all now. Okay? But damn, every other week is like something I never thought was possible. The Trump presidencies as a whole, like Roe v. Wade is gone. That's a different country.
Yeah, it is. I almost forgot about that. Good Lord.
There's so much history in the last like 2 administrations of Trump that we forget it. Mm-hmm. Like so much shit's going on, and for the foreseeable future, we're going to have probably JD Vance in 2028. The guy is not an embarrassment. He's actually probably the most competent vice president that I've ever seen.
Yeah,
well, usually you don't know the name of the vice president.
I'm sorry, was that Luna?
Usually you don't know the name of the vice president. To be honest, like who knew about Joe Biden until Joe Biden ran? Yeah,
he's just the dude you keep in the closet until the president dies or something, or if you need like a hospital's ribbon cut. But yes,
right. Well, that's often because VP picks recently have been or a common pattern for vice presidents is sort of congressional influencers.
Oh.
So like Lyndon B. Johnson was basically never going to be president of the United States, but he was essentially the behind the scenes whip that kept the Democratic Party on mission. And And he got shoved in. And I mean, I think, my understanding is Joe Biden for a long time was very much something like that. Like,
yes,
he's an
exactly.
apparatus man.
Career congressman.
Which is interesting because normally what I hear is, they picked that VP because that VP is significantly worse than the president. So you don't want to get rid of the president.
Right.
Because then you get stuck with the VP.
Well, and we got to, and Howley Dooley is pointing out that, like, back during Obama's presidency, like Joe Biden was kind of just sort of like an old white blithering idiot. And this is the accelerationists. I think the accelerationists are wrong. We're very well suited. Things are in hand. In other words, the anti-accelerationist argument is like things are actually moving on at a pretty decent pace, and even more importantly, in a good direction. And the enemy has no purchase.
Right.
Like it's actually better that. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
The election was, essentially a total demoralization for the Democratic Party, and they're only just starting to get their feet back under them. Like the judicial rearguard action, I think, has helped buy them time, but they're still not all the way there, and they're losing money while they're attempting to recover.
And I think they're losing ground too when it comes to things like the government shutdown right now. If you think about it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. So the enemy party is like still absolutely reeling. They're starting to like shake it off a little bit, but like, I think 2026 is going to be like, is there any comeback at all for them? I think it's highly likely the answer is no.
I know Gavin Newsom's been trying to make steps, like he's trying to get the presidency, but. Oh God, the kitty president video. Have you seen that?
Oh, what, Newsom's cat video?
Yeah, I think it was posted by the Democratic Party where they were trying to explain what's going on with Republican Kitty.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
I think part of Newsom's problem and what's probably going to be holding him back is, his PR people seem to be like the Kamala HQ people, where they're like true believer millennial Zoomers, and they are not doing him any favors.
Yeah. But there's a shocking number of those. How do you sort of deprogram them? Anyway, I feel like we're getting off topic. Sorry.
Oh, well, that's an important thing for being able to vote your way out of it is, the assassination culture thing, which Charlie Kirk talked about. You do have to confront that about 25% of our population is like, either willing to endorse, support, or pull the trigger themselves. So,
that's
like it is possible to vote your way out of it, but like it's important to keep in mind that the number that can turn that cold civil war hot is so high.
Yeah. Well, I mean, during our actual Civil War, that was sort of a thing too, where they didn't think it would actually get hot, and it was sort of, I don't want to call it an accident, but they thought it would be over overnight, and it was not.
Mm-hmm.
Alex, I can't hear you if you're talking.
Oh, sorry. No, I put myself on mute. I'm actually at a gas station.
No.
For those who don't know, I'm on a road trip to Las Vegas.
Yeah, no, it was me. I was muted. I'm sorry. Yeah, exactly. I was muted. Sorry about that. So not all civil wars are actually that hot, right? Some civil wars are over, like done pretty quickly and with not too many casualties. I'm a believer that war, and I think Luna said this backstage, and I agree with it. Thank you for dredging up this memory. Wars never end, really. Wars never really end. They just change forms. So our civil war is probably never going, at this point, I don't think it's ever going to get hot. because the right has the ability to absorb kinetic damage, deal out judicial punishments, and then continue to win on a peaceful front. Like, hot wars usually happen when both sides think they're going to get the upper hand in a hot war. Often there's a mismatch of intelligence or maybe too much confidence, or even politics inside of their own country having like a war department. But there's no war politics going on in America so far. The left is, what I see right now is they're making desperate moves. And they are, as I pointed out in the stream with like me and Luna talked about this, is that it looks really bad when you're violent. It makes your opponent, it validates your opponent's arguments, no matter how taboo they might have been before. Like, there's nothing more taboo than murder for normal people. So there's a lot of stories of people who were on the left and they were like, yeah, my friends were okay with this murder and I can't be friends with them anymore. And I'm like,
famously,
good on you.
Chew on head.
What's that?
Chew on head.
Chew on head. That's a good example. Chew on head's done with their asses.
Yep.
That's the thing, is that's the power of Christianity. And I'm gonna go on a rant. I'm gonna see if the next banner is better. All right, vote your way out of it. How to vote your way out of this? Okay. I see this from a bunch of pagans. I apologize for nothing to any pagans who hear this. You guys are not equipped to actually fight a real war of ideas, a civil war, or even just exist as a power, right? Because look at Charlie Kirk's memorial. That's a lifetime of peace that was ended in tragedy. That is the Christian power, is that we give you a taste of decency and goodness and godliness, only for it to be stripped away by evil. And that mobilizes righteous fury. And that righteous fury is not always violent. As you can see, the Trump administration right now is just doubling down. Everything got more extreme when Charlie died.
Yep.
When he was murdered, like Hegseth went for it. Hegseth could have gone for it in the earlier 7-8 months of the Trump administration, but he went for it after Charlie died. Stephen Miller is going for it. Vought, who I never even heard of, which by the way is a really funny the Boys reference, is going for it. Everyone is going for it. Everyone's going for the throat. The thing is, with Christianity, it allows you to have this non-moral gray area. Don't you hate it when stories have all this like morally gray characters? Yeah, exactly. The character that you want is a Christian. That's the one that you want in your story. This is not some Viking like Hofstrad Vladimir. No, it's a dude who has kids and a wife and is a good man. This is not some axe murderer who got killed by other axe murderers. Okay, this is a good man, and he died, and it's a unequivocal injustice, and that means you get to draw the line between good and evil. Those who are praising his murder and those who are mourning his murder. And there isn't really an in-between. There could be like, yeah, I wasn't into him, but it wasn't cool. That's enough. That's enough mourning. It was like, hey, that was messed up. What happened to him? Mm-hmm. It turns the grays into blacks and whites. And blacks and whites is what you need to wage any sort of conflict. So in terms of narrative sense, the greatest pagan tradition is converting to Christianity. Yeah, worshiping a lake spirit is not very compelling to defending your people, right, man? Like, to fight for the
Templars theory that a lot of these pagans are actually Indians.
Yeah.
You cursed Vishnu.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, dude, all these Norwegian. I loved it when Hegseth actually called out the Norwegian pagans. It's like, you need to shave your beards. We're not a bunch of Norwegian pagans. That was so funny. It was like, yeah, we think you pagans are cringe, and you guys worship power, is what you worship. Like, you want the most powerful God. You don't want a God that loves you. You want a God that's powerful.
Yeah, and it's sort of like power alone and no moral authority. Have you read the stuff and like on Zeus and some of those pagan gods? Good Lord. I mean, there's the whole new joke now of Zeus sort of being characterized as the frat boy who just goes after whatever woman he happens to see passing by. I'm like, do you really want to be ruled by that?
Yeah, it's cringe. It's lame. It's also not because nobody cares if you're a Zeus worshiper. If you live in the Zeus village, you become a Zeus worshiper. And if something bad happens to you and happens to Zeus, then nobody else in any other village has to give a damn, which is what the ancients used to be. So when I look at, I'm going to call him out because this is Menor speaking. I just say whatever I want. When I see like Carl Benjamin or something like that being like, yes, I'm more of a pagan. I hate my enemies and I don't want what's bad. I want to fight my enemies, destruction, my power versus their power. It's like, yeah, it's great when you have the advantage, but when you don't, what do you do? And also when you have the advantage, there's no better way of squandering that advantage than to overact and to act like a brute. To be a righteous ruling king is to be a Christian, or either a Christian or a statistic, as far as I'm concerned. It's all very like play by like color by numbers in terms of your power. If you're a pagan, This is another thing I say, like benign numbers. Every Norse pagan I've ever known is just a white supremacist with varying degrees of how honest they are about it. Yes, I've seen that as well. I have a complicated relationship with white people and white supremacy. And by complicated, I mean like I understand it. I don't like it. I'm half white. I'm half Hakka Chinese. You can look up that ethnic group. There's good stuff about it. There's bad stuff. I don't know. It's just people are people, man. Mm-hmm. That's my complicated relationship. It's just a it's like I have a complicated relationship with white supremacy. It's like, and then completely reasonable take. It's like, yeah, there's good stuff. There's bad stuff. Like people use the invention. By the way, using your history as a way of backing up your racial superiority is like very much to me like wearing your grandpa's war medals to the bar and expecting free beers. It's like nobody gives a shit. What have you done? This is the American thing. What have you done for me lately? Right? There's no quality control.
It's also popping the cork on like, okay, well, you also have to admit ancestral blood guilt if you're going to go that way, and that's
right.
Yeah, it's not.
I
ancestral blood guilt.
Yeah, fuck that. But I think the calling out pagans specifically is actually like extremely important because the worldview is essentially a far less sophisticated moral order, and not the kind that's this massive civilizational accelerator like Christianity.
Mm-hmm. This is a fucked up point I have. I say fucked up because this is kind of fucked up. Is that I'm glad it was Charlie Kirk and not Trump if I had to choose one of the two, because Trump is an organizer of the nation, whereas Charlie Kirk is like an earnest organizer, and he's like a reacher of people. He's the fisherman. He's the one with the net. To lose him, he's not replaceable. First off, Charlie Kirk is not replaceable.
All people aren't replaceable, but still, yeah.
Trump is vital. Trump is vital to keeping this thing organized. If Trump got assassinated, this shit would be helter-skelter and I think it
would get hot.
Worse than being debilitated is to be chaotic. Debilitated is like I lost my leg. Chaotic is I have dementia. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah, exactly. So right now I'm glad that things turned out the way they were. If I had to choose one, I'd rather things be different. But I also see that like there's some good to be had from this. God has his timing, and I have to trust it. By the way, if you're ever a real Christian, being a Christian is fucking it's scary and reassuring at the same time, because you are in just full trust of how things are going, and every proper Christian is an optimist because they believe in God and that God has a plan. This is a thing I've also said before. Is like if your race is truly superior, you shouldn't have to cry about it all the time. Me and Alex Cosma have talked about this offline. Is that any identitarian group is always a victim group, and all victim groups are low agency, mm-hmm. which is weak. You should be high agency. It should be like a fun thing that you talk about at the family reunion of like, oh, we're all CEOs and inventors and scientists and philosophers. How about that? And then you forget about it and go back to work, right? It's not you don't. It's there are things that are like reflexive qualities, and there are things that are active qualities, and there are passive qualities. Passive qualities being like things that you're not aware of that help you out. Active qualities are things that you rely on that help you out. Usually it's your father and your mother, your family, and the mentors you met along the way. Those are active. And then there's the stuff that's like reflexive, where it's like at the end of your life or in times when there's the calm between the storms where you think about things. By the way, this stream and all of these Thursday streams, all of these milk and cigarette streams here are reflective. We're sitting here, we're at the diner, we're relaxed, we're just thinking about how things have been going, and what's transpired, right? And what we've been talking about here is how to vote your way out of it. And I think the comments have been really great, by the way, of Howdly Doodly and Benign Numbers. Is the way that you vote your way out of it is don't create these victim groups for yourself, and don't start othering others. Like, you kind of have to create a big tent, but with a good filter. And Trump has been like doing these miraculous 80-20 issues. I want this mother, he better not die. Trump better not die. I want him to have like 4 years post-presidency to just write a memoir. I need to know what this guy's thinking. Because he's been doing it, like 80-20 issues. In other words, he's been making filters, both on their side and our own side, over and over and over again. Iron sharpens iron. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. We've been putting hard lessons. Like, Trump is... Remember the stuff from Iran? Remember how many people thought we're going into World War III, or we're going to have like boots on the ground was a phrase that was used. Regime change, all this stuff. It just went away.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember. It's like a fond memory from your childhood.
It's crazy because it seems like, it seems like so long ago, and it's like, oh yeah, that was what, a couple months ago.
It was 3 months ago. I remember then. I remember then, man. I remember 3 months ago. It was a different world, man.
It's like, what the fuck's going on?
Moving so incredibly fast, and then it's like you blink, and how many years have passed? Oh, good lord, time is weird now.
Well, what Trump is doing, whether he realizes it or not, is he's making this new world, and we're seeing who can actually fit into it.
Yeah.
So how do you vote? All right. How do you vote your way out of it? Positivity.
No demoralization.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I was going to say no demoralization.
Yes, positivity. You have to envision. My wife's father is a stock car racer. You ever seen stock car racing? It's crazy shit. Yeah, it's chaotic as hell. And your vehicle and the road are both working on each other. Like, it's not a hammer and an anvil. It's two anvils smashing into each other. You have to look at where things are going. What's up, YDNA 03333? What's up, man? What's happening is we're talking about where we are right now. And I'm using the most chaotic analogy available, is that stock car racing. You have to, it doesn't matter what's going on in your country. You have to look where you want to go. Wherever you look is where you're going to go. So you better damn well be an optimist if you want things to go well, right? I think we can agree on that. Disagreements are going to be on a value level, which there is no rational. That's the pre-rational of me speaking. You have to be an optimist. You have to think there's a way out of this. So the first thing, how to vote your way out of it, how to vote your way out of the hell that you've been in, how to make your vote count, is believe there's a future. Second off here is that for the example of the right, Trump took many, many years before he actually became what the right wanted him to become. Mm-hmm. And there was a pre-pipeline that happens. Like, there was the pre-pipeline of the primaries where we got to see him argue. He was a great arguer. Okay, so people liked what he said. He was a great arguer. I remember most of the people that I thought were voting. I didn't vote for Trump, by the way, the first time he was going, and I didn't vote at all. I thought it was a bunch of trolls. But you know what? After the Obama years, I understand it. Like, they just wanted something different. They just wanted to destroy the system. In a lot of ways, the first Trump voters were accelerationists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that, a fraction of them. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what ended up happening is that we had a long pipeline until we got to where we are now. So voting your way out of this requires a lot of years and sometimes failed candidacies that are directionally correct.
Yes, it requires multiple electoral wins. It can require some failures. I mean, part of voting our way out of this is the American people, more or less in 2020 opted to say, "Oh, we are tired of winning," and then 4 years later, I'd like some of that winning back.
Yes.
Well, if you believe the voting machines and all that stuff, I don't want to get into that though.
Right.
Well, and the thing is, the right took it, right? And the black pillars are going to say that we took it like a bitch. All right. Black pillars are going to say that, oh, you're too soft. What do you want us to do? Okay. We're working with the system that we got because anything else is insane. And as a matter of fact, have you noticed that many of the accelerationists, a lot of the false flag attacks tend to be accelerationist in nature? Tells you something that accelerationists are not your friend. You do not want people that are trying to bring this to some kinetic or some violent in other words, what we're fighting is continental leftists a little bit, like revolutionaries versus iteratives. The modern right now is very iterative.
Yes.
We are not revolutionaries. And
I mean, I think part of that too is one, that the American people do have a hefty amount of cultural conservatism embedded in them. And two, that the body of intellectual thought that is called conservatism is a branch of evolutionary theory.
Well, yeah, and the
it's pre-Darwinian, but it is basically Darwinian in its activity.
Oh, I see. Well, that's kind of a problem though, because it's you have to have the right people. So I've heard many times, and I've given a lot of shit. I would be surprised. Well, I'm not. I'm gonna hold that back, but I've given a lot of shit to certain people who've said the democracy doesn't work. It's well, it doesn't work for you. It works for America just great, actually.
Yeah.
We did vote our way out of it. First off, to declare.
I mean, that's a question. Is did it work because democracy works, or did it work because we're still a moral and religious people?
Correct.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, and this is the problem is that
I mean, because I'll tell you, democracy actually has all sorts of structural problems with it. That it ain't a sunshine and rainbows system, and accomplishes a lot of things that even the most spirited champion of democracies would say, "Ooh, that's really undemocratic." It's but it's a necessary feature, that it has to be this way. Democracy is ironically inherently anti-democratic, and there's limiting principles. It creates instability. It expands the domain of the political to eventually be all-encompassing. There's all these problems with it, but it works while it works, and essentially, if it works, you have to have a bunch of people who are willing to not push the game theory all the way.
You kind of need people who are. So good. Yeah, go ahead.
You just need. I mean, you need a moral and religious people. Was that Sam Adams or John Adams? He's right. He's right.
Well, that's what I was going to expand upon. Is that you do need people who are. You actually need a population that's ideologically captured and not being strategic with political power.
Right.
This is madness to anyone who is not religious, which is why atheists always. I apologize to any atheists out here. I don't think you see what we see, but atheists will shit their pants and declare democracy is dead and never can work because they just don't understand. And you'll see this with the pagans. I'm going to also call out Carl Benjamin again and some of his people on Lotus Eaters, like they think democracy doesn't work. It's like, no, you're just not a Christian. No, you just don't believe. Like
Harry most affected.
Yeah, I know, right? I shit on Harry. Have you seen my other streams? I've like called Harry out a couple times. There's being a Christian and there's actually being a Christian. Actually being a Christian, I should be able to start nailing you to a cross, and you will be looking to the sky and be like, "My Lord, I'm coming to you. I'm coming home. Give me strength and courage in this trying time, but I'm coming home. Take care of my family." It's like there's nothing else there other than like, don't let me die like a bitch and take care of my wife, and that's it. Whereas like an atheist is gonna freak out. It's like because he's not sure what's gonna happen after he dies. A Christian is sure. Has to be sure. And if you have a lapse in faith in your surety of what happens after you die, work on that. It's one of the main benefits of being a Christian. Do pray. Only God can give that to you. Yes. The shitting your pants over democracy not working is absolutely a lapse of faith in yourself and your people. And the thing is, what it tells me is that you as a Christian have failed, because as a Christian, you're supposed to be evangelical to some extent. Right? Wait. All right. Wait. By the way, I am such a girl. I am a little pretty girl. I like gossip. I'm such an asshole with gossip. Calvin Robson, Shadowversity is suddenly a lot of angry tweets. I haven't read them. We'll check that out, John Hoppy.
Yeah, I've not seen that. That's
me and Loon have got to have just like, I was gonna say like girl nights. We're just gonna have like just gossip night. We're just such bitches. I'm a massive gossip. And
wait, so you have men are speaking, and then you're gonna have girls are gossiping?
Yeah, hell yeah. Fuck yeah, girl. Yeah, it's I'm gonna be on my bed, laying on my stomach with my like feet up, just in the back there with my phone, my corded phone, curls going. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
remember that board game with the phone where it's like, oh, Corey really likes you, and that's what it would say to you. That's what you girls were into. Remember that? Right?
I actually do have a channel with Howdy Doodly. I played video games for a little bit.
Yeah, hell yeah. Plug it. No, it's all good. I'm gonna look up this board game about phones. Board game, phone, girls. Girl talk. Board game. That's right. I thought this was the dumbest shit. I'm an absolute. The reason why I'm a gossip is because I'm an absolute inquisitor. So as well as most girls are like, oh, that's fun. I'm like, he must be made to repent. It's like, oh shit! You invited Inquisitor von Calix to your girl talk night, and now he's like crucifying the librarian or whoever else. Yes, I am big into gossip because that actually affects things. I do not like conflict that's unresolved. It must be resolved, and it must be judged. That'll be very interesting. This
wait, so you're essentially just a transformer that turns that turns passive aggression into aggression.
Yes. I like to bring things to boil. Yes.
Oh Lord.
Simmers must boil. What fire is the only purifier? Yes. Yeah, that's all right.
Burn, baby, burn.
Yeah, burn it all. Whatever shall live shall live. Anyways, yes,
Lord.
no, I'm always I always have my ear to the ground because there's always some lesson to be learned, right? Mm-hmm. This is the problem with women and gossip is that they tend to just sort of stew in the gossip, but there's actually a narrative that can be built that can be very instructional to you in that gossip.
I mean, yes. It's essentially running Plutarch's lives.
Yes, and mercy is a very important quality of any inquisitor.
Or was it Plutarch? No, Livy. Shit, I don't remember which one. The Greek and Roman biographical pictures, like everyone was like, two stories side by side that sort of mirror each other. But yeah,
yes, correct. Reconciliation is godly. It's a creation of the breakdown of multiple truths into one singular truth is godly work and should be done. Anyways, I'll move on from that. Yes, the problem that we have right now is we have this this discord in the right wing that it makes it obfuscates the path to victory. Right? Everyone's fighting over tiny things. The great thing about Trump, and the reason why I'm so happy that Trump is alive despite the assassination attempts, and I am not happy that Charlie Kirk is dead. But if I was to choose two, Trump must survive because he is the layer. He lays down what is the narrative at the moment. Okay, so he posts a sombrero meme with Hakeem Jeffries. I'm on board. That's called loyalty. Loyalty is a moral pillar, and it's what makes civilizations. When I see our friends in the UK, and I love you all to death. I love you so much. I just want to hug you and grab you until the air just goes out of you. I'm sorry, what's that, Luna?
Have you seen the cartoons where it's like, I'm gonna love you and squeeze you and call you George?
Oh yeah, that was the Lenny character from Bugs Bunny. Yes, I'm going to crush you with my love. My love will be so tyrannical that it's going to make hate look like freedom. You must be loyal to Trump. You must give him 72 hours. For fuck's sake, 72 hours. And all of your doubts will be dispelled. The burgers will become nothing burgers. This is a major problem I see. Is it how to vote your way out of it? You have to have a modicum of loyalty. This is something I've wanted to express to Bo Dade and specifically. If you want a Caesar, you have to be a people worthy of Caesar. So this is at the 50-minute mark, 50 and 55. If you want to be worthy of a great man of history, you have to be a great people of history. That means loyalty, at least. You have to be loyal. If you are constantly critical, if you are constantly throwing shade, if you are constantly some enlightened, liberal-minded, and by the way, you cannot take the liberal mind out of someone who has made a classical liberal, right? You know what I'm saying? You cannot take the cynicism out of the Gen X. If you're a cynical, shut up. Just shut up and just wait. Just wait.
Cynical is cool, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. It's so annoying. You just have to give stuff time. If you are not willing to do that, if your loyalty is incapable of 72 hours of benefit of the doubt, then you will never have a great man, and you'll be stuck. You'll be completely destroyed. I
do kind of want to talk more about that because the Brits have been trying to vote their way out of it for a while, and they don't seem to have made it so far yet.
You're amazing. I love you, Luna. I love you, Luna, because you're going right to the heart of what the Chiron on the bottom says. How to vote your way out of it. What have the Brits been doing wrong?
In the long run, people get the government they deserve.
That's some shade, man. I haven't seen that much shade since that old elm tree I sat under.
Well, I mean, they're probably about to get Nigel Farage, who basically has only ever wanted to just be accepted into the club and has no plan to govern.
Yeah,
and they had somebody who was actually like approaching this seriously, and their guy threw him out. Like, you know, there is a certain level where it's like, you know, you guys sort of asked for this, like, as a culture.
Oh, Benign Number Station is coming in with the low blows, man. Crouching uppercut to the nuts. Absolutely. They want a Caesar, but they're not willing to bow. They would stab him at the first sign. Guess what? Imagine if they had a perfect British potentate, an absolutely perfect British tyrant in waiting, but he liked Israel. Yeah, they'd probably stab him in the back because it's like, what do you want to do? You're going to differ on things. The thing about Trump is that he's willing to listen. That's the most you can ask from your king. That's actually that's extremely advanced king technology. You understand? It's like having the right man for the right time is a godsend. Having a right man for the right time that also listens to you when you complain and then tries to do what's best for you is insane levels of we don't deserve it, honestly. So people who bitch about Trump, I'm like, what do you want? Write a letter. He's listening. Fuck me. His Was it Secretary of Agriculture was sending something to the Secretary of Finance? I forget. They were just sharing tweets with each other, like from like no name account. It was like, hey, wait, this is a good point. I'm gonna send that over to you. Did you guys see that?
I did not see that.
No, I didn't.
It was someone took a picture of the Secretary of Agriculture's phone, and he was having a conversation with the Secretary of Finance about how we want to bail out Argentina, right? But the thing is, Argentina has been undercutting us on soy prices to China. So it's like, well, okay, so Argentina's been playing this game with China, undercutting us, fucking us over, and now we want to bail them out. What is this? And the thing is, they didn't. And he was like, the Secretary of Agriculture was saying, like, hey, you want to take a look at this? I was like, geez, they're just sharing stuff that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, they found a way to parse. By the way, this is a very advanced technology. Found a way to parse wisdom out of X, which is really hard. I don't think that every poster in chimping makes a difference, but I do think there's a whitelist for the administration of who they listen to.
Yeah, I think so too, because it's sort of like
yeah.
Like, and you kind of see it in different circles where you have people that, you know, have gained a certain level of influence in those spheres, and people will listen to them especially as they gain ground. Like, you see that in a lot of our main influencers on the right. Like, think of Charlie Kirk himself, God rest his soul. He was someone that very much was that middle ground that all the Republicans knew.
He was moderate. To. Well, we did a stream on Charlie Kirk and what his influence was, and we all kind of thought he was a dork and he wasn't far to the right enough. But the man was willing to lay his life on the line. So it's like all purity is now gone. Like, once you become martyred, there's no questioning your character anymore, which is, by the way, a value of the right. The left will go through you and judge you post-emptively, like post-vitae.
Well, only if they're your opponent.
This is true, but they will start cannibalizing their own over time. Like Martin Luther King was cannibalized during the BLM movement. Like, they will use you when you're useful, whereas on the right, we venerate you because you are decent. You had quality.
Well, yeah, that's that sanctity and loyalty coming in, which is, you know, all but alien to a left-wing moral outlook.
By the way, I got followed by Captive Dreamer, which is, I believe, like, it's one of the people that JD Vance follows. The posters are in control, but it is a limited number of posters. It's not chimpers. Chimpers just piss off the administration and are written off. Like, they will, like Aaron McIntyre, that tweet you sent me, whereas Aaron was like, "Oh yeah, our chimping made a big difference." It was like,
yeah, and immediately followed by Plan Trusted. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, Aaron McIntyre. I said this before. I need to find this tweet of mine. I made it like within the last 2 weeks of like, the plan for the clout chasers is listen to something that Trump says he's going to do, say that he isn't doing it fast enough, and chimp out and bullshit and like go nuts. Trump finally does what he said he was going to do. Take credit for the fact that Trump did it. Yeah.
It's like totally misunderstanding cause and effect, or perhaps even deliberately misunderstanding cause and effect. Like, the sun's gonna fucking rise tomorrow, but you know what? If we pull some hearts out, we're totally responsible for that happening.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Trump said he was going to, and yes, the right rewards loyalty more than the left. The funny thing is, the left, what you could do, if I was a proper operative, imagine if I was a proper political operative, I would constantly be working the other side, and I would be calling for purity spirals on the left, always. They do it themselves, but you can always find something that someone has done, dig it up, and have them canceled by their enemy. So their inquisition is based on some moral purity. Our inquisition is based on moral standards, but also utility. I was like, you are just simply not worth the trouble, so we're going to just tank you. The way you vote your way out of this, as we've been saying, and been hinting at, is you have to filter who you have running for you. Before there's ever even an election, you have to have filtered the people who are being elected. Like Nigel Farage, in my mind, would not get another chance in America. He would have been memed to death.
Yeah, probably not.
One bullshit thing he says that's be amenable to the mainstream media would have gotten him destroyed. America loves conflict, and we love iconoclasts. So Trump fit in just fine. There's something with the British values. Like, what do the British people need for them to vote their way out of it? I guess that's a tough question. Like Luna, you were kind of on that vein of like, what do they need? Do they need different people? Yeah,
I was thinking between like the difference between Rupert Lowe and Nigel Farage, because Nigel Farage kind of strikes me as, well, he's kind of fake. I think that's the best way to put it. Is he acts legitimate, but he's not really legitimate, and I don't know if the British people see that, or if they like that, or why it is that he is rising rather than someone who's more authentic like Rupert Lowe. Maybe it's a name recognition, maybe it's because he's been in the game longer. I don't know, but that's going to get them in a lot of trouble in the long run, because if you have someone that's fake, someone who just wants to be part of the club, he's not going to do what's in the best interest of the people.
It's interesting that the right in America actually came up with the term rhino, as Benign Number Station brought up. They came up with the word rhino fairly early on. I don't know when the first instance of that was, but it was during the first Trump administration, Republican in name only, and that they were using the standards of the voter to differentiate who was a real Republican and who wasn't. And when I say the standards of the voter, is like, who was the voter expecting to get versus what they were actually getting?
I think that is very important too, because like this is still a problem in the Republican Party, less so now than it was then. But yeah, people would vote for these guys and you'd expect them to do what you voted for, and they wouldn't.
If this is true, that's very interesting. The Inquisition, there's a if this is true, howdly doodly, there is a thirst for an Inquisition before Trump even showed up. So sometimes the wanting precedes the satisfier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There has to be a demand for it. By being unsatisfied, there's a certain amount of disloyalty built into being on the right. And disloyalty, maybe is not the correct word for it, but there's a dissatisfaction. There's always something that's pissing us off. To say it lightly, there's always something that pisses us off, and that creates an opening for someone to come in and get more power. In other words, we're willing to carve out from the great, like, imagine a circle. There's a circle here. It's filled with satisfaction. Satisfaction is power for whoever's in charge right now. We always carve out a certain amount of that circle, though, for dissatisfaction, right? And that opening is for someone else to come in and take that place, and then eventually push the old out with the new. It's very odd that the Republicans, who have been known as being sort of staunch, stodgy, have always carved out a place for new talent. I am going to differentiate this now with Reform in the UK. Reform in the UK is not a proper political party, and that it doesn't get governed the same way. See you, Jahanvi. Bye.
Bye, Jahanvi.
Reform doesn't get governed in the same way that most political parties are, in that it's kind of a private enterprise. You have to have a carve out for people who are unhappy, and there should always be a certain amount of unhappy. Trump is okay with this, by the way, with people being unhappy. He's actually trying to always please that audience, because he wants to stay in charge, and to stay in charge, he has to be loved by the people. In the UK, they have not made the structure that allows this. If people are
I feel like Nigel Farage is partly to blame, because if anyone came up who was an alternative that sort of threatened his power, he seemed to can him. at least in the alternative parties. I can't really say with the major parties like the Tories or Labour. But I'm sure they have their own infrastructure to do that within those parties.
Sorry, I'm looking up Rhino right now. I'm sorry, what was that again?
So basically, I was saying that a lot of the candidates that were rising up, Nigel Farage kind of canned them.
Yes, he stopped there from being secondaries. This is an amazing thing about Trump. Actually, we got very lucky. I'm not gonna say that America deserves all this, although I do believe it. I'm not going to say it. Saying is gives power to something. Believing is simply a personal preference. But Trump has made a lot of room for apprentices. JD Vance.
He's built a lot of bridges. He's, even like with Ted Cruz, who he coined as the Zodiac Killer, he's also extended his hand and built coalitions with all of these people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Marco.
Really what?
Marco Rubio went from getting in the Republican primaries, Trump manhandled a huge field of people, many of whom were rhinos, and Marco Rubio is on the receiving end of some of the most egregious manhandling, and he's back in.
Yeah. And isn't the joke now he's got too many jobs?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's impressive if you think about it. The fact that he was able to... Sometimes these relationships get destroyed over this or less. Yes. And yet Trump is able to go back and get these people sort of roped in and in his administration, and that's kind of crazy. Like, think of Tulsi Gabbard, think of RFK Jr., these are Democrats that he's somehow roped in to his administration. And really, that's been a big boon to him. It's sort of like we disagree on a lot, but in this one aspect we agree, and that's where I'm going to make you go full force.
Well, that's the amazing thing about Trump is that he is a king maker as well as a king. That is vital. There has never been a bigger stable of potential presidential candidates right now. JD Vance obviously is ahead because he's the vice president. He's done a fantastic job, and he's had an opportunity to do a fantastic job, by the way. Trump has not hogged the glory.
Yeah, he is not. And I feel like Nigel Farage, on the other hand, kind of has, and he's undercut all of the people that have been a threat. Well, he perceives as a threat to him. And you can't build an administration like that. You need to have people in your cabinet in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, It's simply too big to be a one-man show ever.
And
Trump 2.0 is also pretty different from Trump 1.0, because it's like, oh man, making sure I have really, really, really talented and loyal people who've been put to the test at everything is like way more important.
Yeah.
And you're getting a better caliber of government as a result.
I will say an accident. I'm sorry, I'll let you go, Luna, but really quick. Accident of God is that Trump had the 4 years intervening between his two administrations, which allowed him to see who would make the filter.
Yeah.
Right. And also to plan. It's like a lot's happened in the last 10 months. And that's because the administration came in with a fucking plan. Like, we're going to do this. Yeah. Like, it's actually planned out. Like, is a reform government going to have a plan? No. I mean, unless it's like Restore Britain that, is essentially calling all the shots, doing all the hiring and implementing all the policies.
I don't think Britain's ever. This is the liquor talking. I don't think Britain's going to pull its head out of its ass unless America is there with a crowbar, just pulling it out. You know what I mean? I think America at this point. This is why. In order
for them to pull their shit together, we have to stop enabling them.
Well, I mean, how are we?
They benefit. They benefit from the big gay. If the big gay goes away, you can't have a Keir Starmer.
Well, is the big gay real? Like, what is the evidence of the big gay, and what is it actually doing? Non-abstract. You know what I mean?
Number one thing the big gay is doing is securing the world's shipping lanes.
Yeah, they look to their own security, which will allow them to have martial success, martial prowess. Yes.
Yeah. Essentially, the big gay is the guarantor of global trade.
Well, yes, that's true.
And because you have an external guarantor of global trade, there's a lot less you need to do. And you can allow yourself to become entirely dependent on imports for whole categories of things. Guess what? That can band-aid over a lot of failures. If you take away the enabler and force them to be much closer to reality, shit like the Labor Party and the Tory Party don't fly.
Well, this is a funny thing. Is that
like essentially the UK has to hit rock bottom, and the US has to like stop picking them up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the people of England and the UK are going to consider America's behavior to be really bad. This is part of the healing process. Like fucking you over is actually part of what makes you better. We are not here to help you. America is not your friend.
I'm confused because on one hand, it's sort of like it seems like that the UK isn't going to get itself out of this without the help of the United States. On the other hand, it's sort of like you're saying that the UK we have to back away from the UK in order for them to get their shit together.
Their internal struggles seem to be dependent upon America's security guarantees, according to Cosby. Do I have that right?
Mm-hmm.
To rescind our security guarantees would force them to be more practical and self-interested, whereas right now they see a false assumption of security and tranquility at the moment.
So you're suggesting that the UK has to hit rock bottom and then decide that it's going to fix its own problems.
Right now, especially from the people of like Lotus Eaters and all the other UK commentators, they are not serious. They are not serious. Because if you're a serious person, you're going to speak mostly and principally about your own conduct, self, and values versus outsiders. To speak of outsiders is a luxury. All right. Whereas Americans, especially conservative Americans, over this last 10 years, have been concerning themselves with what is a good American? What do we want? What is America? How do we get there? Make America great again is actually a question as well as it is a statement. And we've been focusing on that. And what makes America great again, right? Mm-hmm. Security, jobs, self-reliance, law and order, a bit of isolation. So you have to start asking yourselves, like, what is the cost of that? And I don't think the UK has really thought about that.
I mean, I think they are thinking about it. Just, another way of saying the democracy thing is like you deserve what you tolerate. And they've tolerated being run by traitors, for a couple of generations.
Well, here's my challenge to them, though, is like, are they willing to? Those who are provided for tend to be very judgmental of those who are the providers, and like there was a video that came out today of a was it Pueblo, Colorado? I think some police officer was running their car and they just rammed into the back of a migrant. Just rammed into the back of him. Did you see that one? It's really good.
No, I didn't.
I'll try to find it. They ran into him so that he kind of flew in the air for a bit. Man's dead. His gun, which I think was a high point, which is very much on brand.
I did see that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. His high point flew up into the air. Are you willing to just kill migrants? And I don't mean like theoretically in your like D&D table in your mind. It's like, this man is a face. He is gone now. Are you willing to do that? And I think that the main problem I see with the UK And the reason why they can't vote their way out of it is they don't take the problem as seriously as they should. They will say, and the reason why I know they don't take things seriously is they will say horrendously hyperbolic shit. Like, oh, we got to just kill them all, or all this stuff. Like, do you know what that looks like? It's horrendous. Are you really willing to do that? Like, go from sitting on your couch and watching television, just going on like Crusader shit. I don't believe that. So I feel like to feel like the difference between an abstractionist and someone who's actually serious is that the abstractionist was going to go way to the accelerationist bend of it, of like, oh yeah, society has to break down. We just have to kill them. I was like,
I'd rather not get to that point. Like my position is sort of, I'd rather things not get bad at all.
Yeah, well,
it's bad. It's bad for everybody. It's bad for women and girls, and the men who have to fight the war and all. Like, I don't want it to get bad, but at the same time, I also feel like in order to prevent things from getting bad, people have to have the means to defend themselves, and I feel like they don't have that in the UK, and that they don't if they are accelerationists and they want this hot war, it's like you don't even have the basic necessities for that war.
Well, they don't,
Right.
And you don't know what that looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like as I put on here the screen, mass deportations is the moderate solution. That is correct. Just put on a plane, send them home, forget about it. Okay. If you're talking about anything crazier than that, of like, you're dreaming, man. You're dreaming. You ever seen someone get killed? You ever killed anybody? I doubt it. Most people I know have not killed anybody.
I have not killed anybody, and I don't want to. Yeah,
like I've contributed to the killing of a person, but I did not kill anybody myself. Like it's not like to work in. That's what the problem I have is that working in these abstracts means you're not serious.
But so the UK, if the UK wants to vote its way out of it, and I think one thing where the British right is actually where I disagree, and I think they are getting serious, is they recognize, okay, Nigel Farage is essentially not up to the task, and he is going to be in government. So we essentially have to do the opposite of a Boris Johnson thing, where he brings in shitloads of migrants so the Financial Times will like him. You have to force him through nonstop sentiment and pressure to do what he should be doing.
But that's my concern too, because Nigel Farage wants to be part of the club. That's his one motivation, it seems. So how do you pressure him to the point of, okay, my hands are tied, I will do what the people want?
I mean, for one, the destruction of the Tory party, I think, is going to do a lot of that. Because if the club he sought to join basically no longer exists,
the people in general, the people of England are going to need to destroy a lot of things they've been comfortable with if they want to move into this new world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. Sorry, little boys. You have to throw your toys away. Fuck you. Okay? America throws its toys away constantly. We're under incredible upheaval all the time. This Peter Pan bullshit is gone. We're constantly growing up. Sorry, Corner Boy has to deal with it. Has to deal with it. Stop leaning on your history and traditions all the fucking time. It makes you weak. You do not have the tools to deal with this modern problem. Maybe you should make friends with the Americans who are figuring it out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And the fact that they had a green and pleasant land, was a result of, growing up aggressively, having the Civil War, wars of religion, the kings and the gradual enforcement of Magna Carta and the reconciliation with Parliament, and having to fight the Napoleonic Wars and stuff. They made their green and pleasant land green and pleasant because they had to fight for it. And I think you're right. That is very much a set of comfortable people.
Every fight, a fight is not about exertion. This is, by the way, I want to have a different stream, by the way, about the failings of the Lord of the Rings to be a civilizational mythology, because it does fail, I think, on a lot of this, is that to have a fight is to give up a lot of what is good. There's a decision that must be made. And the English have just not wanted to let go of things. It's like a child who has so many toys, but there's a fire in the house, and you have to get out. And you can only take what you can hold. So grab the two things you like and move on. The modernity that's hitting right now is like one of the toys they're gonna have to leave behind probably is going to be their morality. I did a independent video on this before that had like one of my most high number of dislikes ever. Was I said that like the English, all of the Anglosphere tends to build this Tower of Babel of moral values that don't hold up at all. It's like a lot of these values have to go. And a lot of these values, by the way, are held by their right.
Yeah, okay, so I'm thinking about this, and it's sort of like, are you talking morality, or are you talking about sort of all of the prim and proper rule-based system, like the externalities, like all of the extra that is not necessary?
Right, morality versus identity. Yes.
There are two fake things that often pretend to be moral virtues, and especially the easier your time, the easier of a time you're having, the more lumped in they get. Which is being nice and being liked.
Right.
Or wanting to be liked. Both of these things are actually vices. They are not virtues.
Which, by the way, academic agent had once said, by the way, we are in the Inquisitor age. I encourage you to be an Inquisitor. An Inquisitor never forgets, and they always pay attention to the little things you say. This character named Academic Agent, who is somewhat tangential to the Lotus Eaters guys, said that...
Massive lolcow.
Yeah, he said, well, America is not going to be liked after the American Empire is not going to be liked. The British Empire will be more liked because we did this and this and this and this. And the American Empire didn't do any of that. I was like, why? The purpose of an empire is not to be liked. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Isn't it power? Oh, man, I'm thinking of the meme where it's like the one guy, it's like, what does he say? I don't like you. And the other guy's, I don't think about you at all.
Right. From Mad Men.
Yes, exactly. The American Empire is absolutely fucking soulless, and that is this pure for extractive value. We don't want to be liked. We do want to maximize value, and if maximizing value means doing this, that, and the other, then go for it. But frankly, empires are usually just not worth it. But we'll see. We'll see what the Americans decide to do. The problem with the English is they build these towers of Babel of like, this is what makes a great nation. And America just doesn't do any of that shit and then continues to rule the world. Benign number station, who cares exactly? The America is not a nation like most of Europe knows a nation to be also. Like ethnic replacement is totally normal. Where are the Tidewater Anglos? They're gone. They're all gone. They're all fucking gone. Like, there's no Virginia, Maryland Anglo tribes left, okay? The only two tribes of the seeds of Albion seem to be the Puritans of New England, who have taken the form of the universities, the institutions, who are pushing woke, and the Scots-Irish Protestants, who are hyper militant, hyper clannish, and and I see that the American Civil War at this current moment is the Scots-Irish versus the woke, which the woke are just sort of like this weird echo of an echo of an echo of an idea of the Puritans. I don't see anybody else. The Southern gentry were just decimated, like murdered by their own people. Like, this is another thing I don't like. People keep talking about homogeneity. There's no homogeneity. Like before the Americans came to America, like when they were back in England, they were doing ISIS-style executions against each other. There's a reason they went again. They sailed across the sea to a completely unknown land, where people just disappeared. People just died. Entire settlements just disappeared.
For God's glory.
It was a desperate flea. America has been the recipient of all of Europe's rejects. Like, this is an entire accidental nation, but it is entirely from the petri dish of human suffering and the Darwinian sort of environment we find ourselves in, but guided by the faith of God, because the faith of the true God is the only thing that actually kept people together.
It's crazy how very different the paradigm is between America and a lot of the European nations that are very tribal even to this day, and how, like, as Americans, part of why the racism thing is so big in America is that we don't have the same sort of tribes they do in Europe. Like, we don't identify as Anglo or French or whatever
we don't do
else
that shit.
usually, except for to say, oh, I like drinking because my family's Irish. It's like, oh, that's a nice tidbit, but we're all Americans.
Right. I mean, this is something I keep trying to like formulate. Is Americans have gone through distinct ethnogenesis, and that's actually part of why you see those, the disappearance of some of those seeds. They're folded into the new ethnicity. I mean, like, so Ella did a DNA test a while back. Her father is British, and she learned through a DNA test that she is more British than her father, because her maternal side is all old lineage Tidewater Americans that wound up in mostly Arkansas, and then just sort of generically Americanized.
Well, like, my generic American side is almost 100% Northern English. They're as saginated as my Asian side. So it's like I'm essentially Northern English and also like Hakka Chinese. So like, what do you make of that, right? Like, it's and the funny thing is I just sort of fit in here. Nobody knows the difference. If you look at another Appalachian is Wendigoon, his channel. I love his channel. I love lore. Like, he's as tan as I am. Nobody knows the difference. We got the same nose. It is what it is. I look a little bit different. I look slightly Asian. AI can tell, but most people can't. And I do just fine in this country. The thing about what makes it American is entirely equality. America is like a pirate ship that is desperate for deckhands.
Hooray!
Yeah.
There's also some interesting legal backgrounds in America's understanding of democratic systems. So yes, we actually had like a lot of English influences, but we also had a lot of pirate influences.
I want to talk about that.
There's a book about that I have to look up and go through again.
The Invisible Hook.
Essentially, a lot of America's like cultural values around democracy and governance come from New World piracy and smuggling.
That's how we win Harry Robinson back over to our side. It'd be like, no, brother, this is the pirate nation that you've always been born for. No, America is a pirate nation. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Lita.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, but I also we can't discount the Bible as well, because a lot of the judicial system and a lot of our framework is based on biblical principles as well.
Well, it's an acknowledgement that we are not divine ourselves, right? Like, this is the difference between European countries and America, is that we do not have this striation of society. It's one of the reasons why a priest class doesn't actually exist in America very well. They're actually considered part of the clerk class. They don't hold any power whatsoever. We don't really give a rat's ass what the Pope has to say.
Well, I do a little bit because I'm Catholic, and
you're Catholic, but the thing is, the rest of America doesn't.
Most people.
Yeah. None of us have to give a shit. I don't know. The Pope says crazy shit or something. He says some stuff and he says some other stuff. I don't give a fuck. Like,
and
it's kind of
a piece of ice.
Well, the thing for America is that it's kind of whoever's most powerful. So it's a race. If you want to be politically powerful in America, you should try to make money above and beyond anything else. Like your dumb little X account that has got 70,000 followers, who gives a shit? 10 million followers, who gives a shit? Well, do you have any money?
I mean, that itself is somewhat of a power. It's sort of social power, and you can like use that to your advantage if you know how to. But it's not for me.
Well, and the thing is that money drives those people anyway.
Yeah.
Like everyone who seems to be high up there is at the mercy of their audience or for sale.
Yeah, America's a really weird place. Like, I mean, even in my own field, which is, I wanted to say DOD, but I guess it's changed to Department of War, so it's DOW. People are very mercenary.
Yes.
In how they operate. Like, oh, you need this one person to fill this position. It's like, how much are you going to pay them? And if they don't like the job, they'll hop. Yep.
I used to be in that world.
Yeah. I mean, and it's weird thinking about it because the world I live in America is very different from the world a lot of Americans live in. But
I like America is way more mercenary and way more able to turn on a dime.
Yeah.
So I think Europeans are going to struggle to be our ally because they don't realize that first off, America is not their little brother. America is extremely large and extremely wealthy and extremely powerful and extremely motivated. And that Europe is going to struggle under the will of our people.
I think to some degree our short history is a big part of that too, because we're still at the stage of the empire where you can just do things. And yeah, there's the whole bull in a China shop with Trump where he's trying to get rid of a lot of the bloat. But I mean, if you get rid of a lot of the bloat and you sort of free up people to be more mercenary, then yeah, we're going to keep rapidly expanding and growing in a positive direction, in my opinion. Anyway.
You know what just hit me is how pants shitty the libertarians turn out to be, and if you look at what Trump's done, he's actually implemented more of the libertarian wish list than anyone.
Correct. I'm going to get a drink really quick, by the way. But yes, you're absolutely. There's no. I'm going to pop in for this one. Gratitude is a main delineator between a traitor and a loyalist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And ingratitude is a necessary part of leftism, socialism, right? Mm-hmm. The thing is, the war isn't between left and right. It's between revolutionaries and iteratives. That's why people say, "Oh, the right is just the left going the speed limit." It's like, yeah, because sometimes the left has a fucking point. Okay, that's okay. It's okay if your opposition has a point. We're gonna go this now. Why are you going the speed limit and what direction? That makes a big difference, right? The revolutionaries also include the libertarians because their ideal is so far away from our current civilization. So they tend to end up sounding like the left.
Right, yeah. No, yeah, and they're at the end of the day pants shitters. They want their way and they want it right now, and no practicality there. I think
time.
What?
I mean, if you want to implement anything, I feel like the reason that Trump was able to implement so much so quickly is because he had that 4 years of prep work. And most circumstances, in order to get anything done, it takes time. You're going to need all of the paperwork together. You're going to need the people, the manpower. And yes, you can just do things, but even just doing things takes time.
Well, the problem with the pants shitters is they don't allow the time. You know what I mean? And I have to feel like they are part of an enemy agency. Or they are simply trying to get clout, and it's a dry season, and I don't like either. But I'm an engineer. Cosma is a product manager. Luna Stratton is a DoD contractor. We all are independently wealthy. We don't need this shit. Okay, we don't. Whereas your average famous right-wing influencer is a prostitute. They do need this shit. Alex is
Cosmo.
Cosmo's fixing his stuff. He had some feedback there.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No worries. Right. So the influencers that you see are essentially prostitutes, and it's how much are they willing to spend and how far are they willing to fall before they start taking subversive money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a concern because you have people that will go up authentically, and then at the same time, if they're going to be so broke that they take foreign money, then they're no longer authentic.
Everyone has that Ian Miles Chong moment where they realize that Ian Miles Chong is an absolute fucking tool. But those moments are there for every single right winger.
Yeah.
Maybe even some of the Lotus Eaters.
What?
I said maybe even some of the Lotus Eaters.
Yeah.
This is the age of Inquisition. I don't trust anyone. I don't trust anyone right now because the left is so desperate and we have international forces fighting against us. I don't trust Tucker Carlson. I don't trust Jake Shields. I don't trust Candace Owens. I don't trust Owen Schroyer. There's a lot of people I don't trust.
I trust the people that I know. And for a lot of people, it's like, I don't know you well enough to, like, how much do I trust you?
Right. I trust Samson.
Yeah, Samson's a good dude.
He's like a normal bloke.
There's definitely a lot of people that I've been shocked at, like, when shit hits the fan or things happen, the amount of people that just kind of turn on a dime. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but yeah, it's crazy.
Well, feel free to elucidate on that. Who are you seeing turn on a dime?
Well, I mean, so some of the people that you've named, like, I think of Candace Owens and some of the stuff that, yeah. Yes.
No, if you don't distrust Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes at this point, you don't have any discernment.
Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted reading the comments.
Not good. The people who speak well of Nick Fuentes right now are absolute fools because he has pretty much consistently been psyop material. He will change his positions on a dime.
Yeah, there's a lot of like influencers in America that I just don't talk to or, follow anymore. That's part of actually why I went to Lotus Eaters the first time is because I was just so sick of a lot of the American influencers.
Well, yeah, and it's the influences in general. I just want to hear people's honest opinion, but I don't know if I'm really hearing that anymore because the opinions seem to fall in the face of logic. You know what I mean? So there's only so much you're willing to take on faith that someone is speaking in good faith before your logic just says like, no, there's no way you can logically hold this opinion.
Yeah, and I totally get if like you disagree with somebody, but if they're authentically believing that thing, then you can have a conversation and maybe minds will be changed. But with some of these people where they're just taking money, nothing you say really matters.
Correct. And it's like they weigh on their they rely on their audience to provide. They rely on their audience to provide what they want. I think Cosmo might actually be gone. Let me just check my messages here real quick.
Well,
it's too funny. Week 6. All right, yeah, Cosmo has weak signal. No worries. I saw a tweet from Furosmo Dad saying that like Nick Fuentes was he's glad that Nick Fuentes' signal has been increasing because of X and all this stuff. And like I am not an age of Inquisition. I am not willing to be very charitable of it. Let me see if I could pull up what I sent to Alex before.
Okay.
But yes.
I'm thinking the Tate brothers and all that stuff. It's kind of crazy the influencers we get on the right who are just not good people. And it's sort of like, how did they rise to this level of fame? How are they champions on the right when these people are abominable?
Right.
Do I need to start speaking so that you can check your thingy?
I'm sorry, what's that?
I said, do I need to be distracting so you can check your thing?
No, you're good. I was just looking through. There isn't a whole lot there to show. Essentially, that Firas Madad has said they, as in the Israelis, spent billions to control TikTok, and Tucker just sent that whole investment down the drain because Tucker says some stuff. I'll post a link in the chat.
Okay.
If it'll allow me to do so. There we go. Oh, fuck off. I'm getting a bunch of warnings about hard drives not mounting properly.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's my stupid hard drives keep dismounting because Windows is dog shit.
It seems like a lot of that stuff is. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't trust. I'm not in a mood to trust people. If you think that Nick Fuentes is good, he 180'd after Charlie Kirk and then 180'd again once it was obvious that Erica Kirk was taking over. And then went after the widow, and then went after Erica Kirk saying that she was bought off.
Oh, that's so disgusting.
The Cath Trads online tried to claim Charlie Kirk as one of their own, which is the most disgusting shit I've ever heard of. Alex is back. Yeah, it's been the most trashy shit I've ever heard in my life, and they're using
who our friends are,
and they're using Catholicism essentially as a cover for their bad deeds because Catholicism gives them easy virtue. They could just say the right words, profess the right beliefs, and they are given some level of elevation. Whereas a Protestant, you're kind of just like you're just some Joe Schmo church with no legitimacy. So they don't pretend to be Protestants.
Yeah,
which is actually kind of good by us. Alex Cosma can't get his shit
good
together.
For you,
That's right.
Not so much for me.
I know, right? Your faith is being absolutely hijacked by retards. Totally, yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Is that let me check to see if I have the banner next for this. Is what is the right now? I'm going to put that up here.
Okay.
Right now, the right needs to do an inquisition on its own people, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
We need an inquisition on our own people. Who's being paid by who? Who's being sucked into whatever social media trend? Who is being influenced? And this can only be found by putting out different narratives and seeing who falls for it, right? So Trump right now is putting out 80-20 propositions. And those 80-20 propositions sucker some people into the 20% and some people into the 80%. 80% obviously being like normal and right. One of those propositions that would fall on the right would be, is America a Protestant or Catholic country?
Well, technically it's Protestant. I mean, we had one of the original 13 colonies that was Catholic, but for the most part Protestant.
Yeah, it was about the tolerance of Lord Baltimore allowed Catholics to live in Maryland. Correct. Mm-hmm. You gotta pretty much, if you're an honest person, you pretty much have to give America to the Protestant evangelicals. And after seeing Charlie's memorial service, that kind of like revamps the yes, this is correct. Because I've never seen anything like that I've never seen anything like that. It was massive.
I don't really see a lot of the Protestants as my enemies, even though I disagree with them on a lot of stuff. And, you know, like, especially on theology. But, yeah, like, even Jesus himself said that if he's not against us, he's for us. Like, I think that was a quote. God, I'm blanking. It's been a long day.
It's all right.
But it's sort of like there was a story in the Bible where Jesus was confronted by some of his disciples because somebody was casting out demons in his name. And Jesus like let him do it. And that's kind of my feeling towards the Protestants is like, if they're going to do the work of God, same God, go by all means do the work of God.
I have some controversial opinions on a lot of spirituality in terms of the Christian faith. Is like, I don't consider the Holy Trinity to be like this end all be all question, because you'll know when you're dead. But as long as you're accepting Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior and the divinity of God, and there's only one God, and that only through Jesus can you be forgiven and made right with God. I was like, okay, you're like 99% there. I don't even really need to go beyond that. Like the stuff that made Peter, the first apostle, be the rock of the church. It's like, I don't really need to go beyond that. So if some Japanese people believe that Jesus was a rice and garlic farmer in Japan, okay, you can say it's a bad thing, but like they also all got martyred for their belief. I was like, okay, well, they made some fanfic of it, sure, because everybody makes a fanfic. It's in human nature. But are you willing to actually be martyred for it? Do you really believe? I was like, well, I don't stand, head and shoulders with those Japanese that gave all their lives. I was like, well, okay, I guess the beliefs in the end don't matter as much, except for the one belief that does matter. And I'm not willing to if I had a church of people, like physical people, 5 families living here sitting in the pews with me, and one of them said that, like, I think Jesus and God are separate entities, would I throw them out of my church? Yeah, probably not. Probably not. I don't think it's worth throwing someone out of my church for. And we have all these like different decisions. Well, does it actually affect anything of your worship, of your belief, in anything at all?
Kind of. But
does it?
Yeah, because Jesus is the incarnation of God. Like,
oh, that's fine. No. They believe that too. They believe that. They just don't believe that Jesus and God are the same person. They believe that Jesus is the Son of God.
Anyway, I digress.
No, I'm not digressing. I'm de-digressing. Is this worth throwing someone out of your church for? Imagine you got a church, ancient church, old church. Are you willing to throw people out of your church for this?
Kind.
Well, the thing is, like, are you willing to divide heaven in two over this issue?
Well, I mean, would. It happened before. That's what part of the Philocry was. But
yeah,
anyway,
how did that go?
Philocry was, I think, a misunderstanding of the language. But yeah, that's why Orthodox and Catholic.
That's what I'm saying, is that like a lot of these conservatives that want to start throwing people out of their church over things like that are misunderstandings are absolutely foolish, because they are destroying their political and ecumenical will, like to actually make the world a better place, because they're picking fights over nothing.
See, the thing is that the way I perceive it, sort of like, well, if we kick them out of the church, they can just go find another church.
I mean, I think every family is a church if they follow the word. Like the family is the core element of a church, I think. I'm not Catholic.
Yeah, I understand. No, but
yeah. The thing about it is that that's why Catholicism is not an American religion, is we don't believe in the dependency in that level. Typically, like you're not going to have like, I know that Catholics try to have like this Catholic land movement. I don't know what the fuck that is, and I don't think it really went that far.
I've never heard of this. What is this?
It's some homesteader movement. It's like Catholic land movement. It's like off into the West, we're going to found Catholic churches. But the thing is, like, these Western towns had almost no one in them. And most of them are Protestant anyway. So it just didn't really go anywhere.
That's weird.
America is a very Protestant nation. Because the reason why we're a Protestant nation is most Protestants, it's tons of denominations on the Protestant side. We just sort of work well together because we just sort of let the bygones be bygones and agree on the core stuff that really matters.
Yeah. And
disagree on the stuff that doesn't matter. So like the People's Church by Jim Jones, not going to fly. It's like this weird communist new age church where he's like some new prophet, right?
That seems very sus.
Yeah, Jim Jones, exactly. The Protestants didn't accept that.
Yeah.
You can watch Razor Fist's bit on Jimmy Carter, or Jimmy Carter allowed that, because that's actually Jimmy Carter was associated with that. The sort of, in other words, the online Catholics have been a agent of American destabilization of the Christian faith.
Yeah, like I'm fine with a lot. Like I live in the Deep South. I live in the Bible Belt. Like everyone's around me is a Baptist. I'm fine living side by side with those people, but I also don't agree with them on Scripture.
Do you believe they're going to hell?
That's not my decision.
Fair enough. Do you believe their doctrine is wrong?
I believe their doctrine is wrong, but that's
Hell
not
yeah.
my decision. If God wants to take them up into heaven, by all means, more people in heaven, bigger party, woohoo!
Cosmo's back. Cosmo, you still there? Every Christian should believe that everyone else is going to hell. That's okay. I'm okay with that. I was doing a double check. Double check is the two extremes. I was like, one, are you fully exclusive, and are you fully universal? The thing about Christianity is that you have to be American Christianity is that you have to be fairly tolerant of other Christians, but also draw the line of when it's not acceptable and when it is acceptable. Is Trump a Christian?
Probably.
What does that mean? Probably, right? Like,
I don't know Trump well enough to say one way or the other. I think he believes in God, so that's why I was leaning towards that, but I don't really know because I don't know Trump.
does that extend to all Protestants in America?
Yeah, I think Protestants are Christians. I disagree with their theology, but yeah, they're Christians.
Okay, all right.
I get irritated when Protestants say that Catholics are not Christians, because we are.
No, that's retarded. Yeah, no, Catholics are definitely
Mormons.
Christians. Are Mormons Christians?
I mean, they don't believe. I think that. I'm trying to remember what exactly it is. I don't think.
I used to be a Mormon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think Mormons are technically Christians.
How so?
I'm trying to remember exactly because I have family that are Mormons. I think it's that they don't believe that Jesus is God or that Jesus is their Lord and Savior.
What if Jesus was the Son of God but was the Lord and Savior?
But I don't think that's what Mormons believe, right? So definitely, initially, they're.
I think they believe that.
What?
I think they believe he's the Son of God and their Lord and Savior. Pretty sure.
I can't give you the exact break point, but I'm willing to say, like, yeah, Mormons are far enough away that they've speciated.
Alex, you got a ton of feedback on your side. I don't know what's like.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll just throw myself back on mute.
All right, no worries. I can mute you too, but in other words, what I'm saying here is that I'm very much a big tent guy, but like values guy. So the Mormons, that's why this whole conversation was actually to culminate in the Mormons, because that tends to be everyone's stopping point. Because the Mormons make up a massive amount in America. There are more Mormons in California than there are in Utah.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, it's an American religion. I can tell you right now, they believe in the Old Testament and the New Testament. They just have like new doctrine that doesn't, as far as I know, doesn't contradict the old doctrine. They basically have an expansion pack. It's not.
I thought you were going to say fan fiction. I'm like,
they might have that too.
Spicy.
They might have that too.
Yeah. Yeah. I have family that are Mormons, and there's a lot of weirdness. But
you got to be very. By the way, when we're talking about this stuff, we got to be very specific of like what is the weirdness, what is the deviation? Because I'm like, every time I see a Christian, I see a weird motherfucker. Every Christian is weird as shit. Because if you've been in the presence of God and you've actually consorted with God, you are not normal.
Okay, the magic underpants. You get your own planet after you die, and then whoever's your first wife is you get stuck with on your planet, I think.
Yeah,
Is
your
that
wife
what it's
and
called?
your wife in life is your wife in the afterlife.
Yeah, and it's sort of like, but what if you had a terrible spouse who was abusive? And then what do you do if you get divorced and then remarried?
Is that not Catholic?
In Catholicism, they didn't elaborate whether or not you get a planet, and I know that
No, I mean the marriage thing, the divorce thing.
Okay, in Catholicism, you're not supposed to get divorced, but there are annulments, which basically means that you broke your vows. So it's sort of a divorce, kind of, sort of. But in the afterlife, I think the scripture says that you become like the angels, and so you're not really married in the same way anymore. I don't think they really elaborate.
You gotta get married in the temple, right? And then you're a soul married, and then you're stayed married in the afterlife. Mormon shunning alcohol completely, even though nothing in the scripture dictates it. Yeah, man. Tell to the Protestant Puritans, man. Alcohol is a controversial thing. A lot of some Christians, despite the fact that
First
Jesus
miracle
made
of Jesus
water.
turning water into wine.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
can you say
Exactly.
Jesus is against alcohol? He turned water into wine
Yeah, exactly.
for a party. Woo! Anyway,
Yeah, Americans are explicitly drinkers. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Christians are explicitly drinkers. You're supposed to not do so in harm of your health. Is the
don't tell the
phrase used?
Baptists around here.
Well, they can suck it. They're wrong.
Would
making
you
up
throw
bullshit.
somebody out of your church if they claim to be Christian, but also were against all alcohol?
I will say, as a man who was baptized by the Mormons, they do use water, unless there's some secret ceremony later on. Because it's kind of funny because I got baptized by some like gay, shitty, like Washington D.C. church that didn't believe in anything, and then I was baptized by Mormons. So, like, do I need another baptism? I suppose it couldn't hurt. Worst could be as a bath.
Catholicism, we accept some baptisms and others not. It depends how the baptism and what the words were. Like, if you're a Lutheran and you get converted from Lutheranism to Catholicism, usually they accept that baptism.
That's funny. Yeah, Lutheranism is pretty close to Catholicism.
Yeah.
In terms of a lot of their practices. They also take the priestly line, which the Mormons do as well, but the Mormons do it through other means. I'm going to leave it at that. In other words, what I'm saying is that in terms of Christianity, you're going to have to be extremely tolerant if you're going to have a Christian movement on the right.
Yeah.
If you start, and this is the problem I have with the online cath trads, is they are so restrictive that it becomes absolutely ridiculous. Remember that one asshole who's on here? I forget what his name was. He was like saying like, "Oh, being drunken is not very Christian." I was like, "It's pretty Christian as far as I know." Fuck you. Like, also, I'm just drinking, man.
I just remember I did that one video on the trad Catholics, and that one guy who just kept railing against me. And it's sort of like, if you're going to be quoting encyclicals, most people don't read encyclicals. I'm sorry. If you start spouting numbers, I'm going to think that you just made that up. It's like, say the argument.
No, exactly. What they're doing, they're trying to usurp the Christian religion to be a source of authority. So this is the problem with the Catholic Church, is the Catholic Church, maybe not the church, but just the members, have established that there is a history, a continuity in terms of the priesthood, and these other bona fides that gives them legitimacy. So if you just say that you're Catholic, you can start bullying people who aren't. And that's without any discipline whatsoever. So when I hear like
no end,
yes, it's not
it's like you're behaving like Pharisees, and that is very much not how you're supposed to behave.
You're as a Christian, you're supposed to be very submissive. To the
I
word
wouldn't
of
say
God.
that either. Like, submissive in what respect?
You're supposed to be submissive to the power of God, right? So if you're submissive to the power of God, you are suggesting to others, and you are trying to act as, like Daniel in the Old Testament, you are acting as counsel to the wicked and not as a ruler.
Well, I
Right.
think it's kind of both. So I've been thinking about this a lot, actually, because Israel itself means struggle. And it was the name given to Jacob after he wrestled either God or the angel or whatever the phrasing is. So, I mean, if you're going to name your country Israel, which means struggle, and then I know that Islam, it means submit, and
Submission, yes.
yeah. But Jesus himself, it's like, I no longer call you slaves, I call you friends. And I feel like that's really the better attitude to take. You're not fighting God, but in some ways you're a friend to God. But you also struggle. Because
Well, you're also supposed to strive to be the bride. You know, you're like to groom yourself as a bride, and you are supposed to submit.
the bride is very much a good allegory. It's sort of like, if you're, the husband or the wife, you're not going to agree on anything, and yeah, God's always going to be right, but that's a struggle, and it's a lovely relationship that comes with its hardships and its beauty and its love. I feel like that's really what that describes the Christians the best. It's sort of like, yeah, life's a struggle, but yes, there is love, and yes, there is, that sort of tension. But that's what makes life beautiful and wonderful and all around great.
I find that Christians themselves are not supposed to be a force of force. They're supposed to be a force of moral virtue that inspires others. So that's why Charlie Kirk was so valuable, and why I think a lot of the cath trads online tried to appropriate him, is that he was actually doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
He was just embodying the values, and then his loss was felt. In a lot of ways, Christendom was kind of ramshackle until Christ died. You know what I mean? It was like even the 12 apostles were struggling; they weren't getting it.
Yeah.
Lazarus's women were kind of lambasting Christ for being late to save him.
Yeah.
Pressuring him to resurrect him, that sort of. It was actually quite a. But once
Peter denied Jesus 3 times.
Yeah, Peter, absolutely. Like, even in living memory, only in death was his value known, and that's just a human nature thing of it.
Oh, one of the things that they say, at least in Catholicism, is that it was in death of Christ that the devil thought he won, only to realize that was his final blow.
And I think that's like really good summary of what we're going through right now politically on the right, is that they keep thinking that murdering our people is going to hurt us, and it only makes us stronger.
Yeah.
Which is a very Christ-like thing.
I mean, in early Christianity, it was always the case that, they'd have a martyr and then 3 more people would rise up in the martyr's place.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of amazing.
The fact is that the accelerationists were wrong, is that actually the Civil War has a natural negative feedback loop, and that whenever you kill one of ours, it actually strengthens our side to then put the other side completely down, whereas the other side is cowed and made unsure of its mission. Hence all of the people that left the left after Charlie Kirk's murder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're on a slippery slope that's going in the direction that we want it to go. Right?
Yep.
Yes. Any martyr, any man who's willing to die for the glory of Christ is a good man. We are all right. I'll put that man up here again.
I mean, I would like to think that Charlie Kirk is in heaven. I don't make that decision. That's why I'm not saying he is or not. But I would like to think that he's in heaven.
It'd be really funny if we got to heaven and we found out that all the rat bastard sons of bitches who just had some modicum of faith in God and Christ were just there, regardless of virtue. That probably makes some really virtuous people very angry. And I think that's funny.
I'd be fine with that. It's like,
I'd be great with that.
More people for the party.
Yeah, exactly. The right at the moment is going to move with full freedom now, because we don't consider this a spiritual affront to the left. That's what's going to happen, right? So, Cosma, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but the right at this moment sees nothing that has been sacred has been upheld, and everything the left stands for is not sacred. Therefore, the right, under its own volition, is going to just demolish everything that it sees in its path.
So I agree with you, but I'm hoping that there's the political will there. I do think, like you said, there needs to be an inquisition on the right, and that we get rid of a lot of the weeds. And I feel like that is currently what possibly maybe blocking our path forward, especially. So the thing I'm thinking of right now is after the death of Charlie Kirk, there was a lot of momentum. There was a lot of people that were getting off their butts and calling people at other, jobs, getting people fired. There was a lot of that going on. And then you have some people in position of power that's like, oh, Charlie Kirk died. Let's make him a coin. And it's like, seriously? No, you are in a position of authority. There is stuff you can do, and you're not doing, and that's what you chose to do. A coin.
This is an interesting point. That are the coiners really counterproductive? Because what I see is that you have a bunch of bureaucrats who are doing nothing else besides at the mint, who just see an opportunity to do something. And they're like, yeah, let's go for it. It's not subtracting from anything else. You know what I mean?
It's not. But at the same time, it just kind of seems... It's sort of like, that's a weird thing to put forward, especially at this point. You would want to put forward bigger legislation first, but I suppose the bigger legislation takes more time.
What I'm saying is the people who are in charge of that decision and in charge of that work don't affect that.
Okay, I see what you're saying. It's sort of like the mentors are the people that's specifically what they do.
Like you've got a council garden committee. Like there's a bunch of ladies, and they've got nothing else to do, so they just decide to make a flower arrangement in honor of Charlie Kirk. You can't really look at that and be like, look, they're doing this instead of honoring Charlie Kirk. It's like, no, this is just their job, and they're doing the best they can.
Yeah, I see what your point is. And I think part of the problem is that the people that were pushing it are in positions that they could have done more. I think it's not the mentors themselves, because that's something within the realm of what they could do, and they thought it was a good idea. It's a lot of the senators and people that are like, look, we did a thing. And it's like, you're a senator. And it's, I think, them who I feel like are more on the chopping block than the mentors themselves. You see what I'm saying?
I see the narrative you're setting forth. I don't know if that's the true narrative.
I don't know either, but that is definitely kind of, what I've been feeling anyway.
So would it be better if they just never proposed the coin?
No, I think it should have been proposed more of, at least forward from the Mentors Association or whatever group decided to do that.
Who aside from the Mentors Association decided to do that?
I'm blanking on who it was. Lord, now you're gonna make me look it up, and I feel like
what probably happened was that the Mentors decided to do it, and then some senator said hey, look at what the Mentors are doing, and they're like, oh, senator, you got better shit to do than this bullshit. Fuck you. I was like, I don't know. I'm just retweeting what the Mentors said. I don't know. Fuck.
Well, I don't think it was a retweet, which is what the problem was.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be a retweet. It'd just be like, oh, they sent me an email. They're doing it. Here's some pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what I'm saying is it's kind of nebulous as to where the work was actually done. Right? Is this actually, did a senator sit there with a sketch, spending hours on Capitol Hill, drawing Charlie Kirk on a coin? Or did he just be send an email and say make this coin happen? And then he got an email back saying the coin's happening. And he's like, okay, post that on X.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying this is not that much work for a senator to do. I've been frustrated by this message. It was like, oh, don't you have something better to do? It was like, it doesn't take that much time.
Okay, I found it. Hold on. Let me see.
I would like to know what else he should have been doing other than this.
Its legislation has been filed by the U.S. House.
Okay, how much? How many pages?
Hold on.
This to me, this seems like pretty minor of a thing to do, and it's a good cultural win because if you put Charlie Kirk in the pocket of every leftist, that's really funny. And it probably doesn't actually require that much.
Okay, I sent it to you.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay, but it doesn't answer my questions. 400,000 silver dollar coins. I'm gonna go ahead and share this. Share screen. Doodly-boodly-boodly. Yep. Add to stage.
I mean, I don't disagree that would be a good thing to do. I just think that there's other pressing matters that you would want to do first before the coin.
Is this actually stopping any other pressing matters, though?
What?
Is this actually stopping any other pressing matters? Is there something else that you would like to be done more so that is not being done sufficiently?
I'm thinking about it. So
I don't know a definitive.
I don't know if this was before or after Antifa got marked as a terrorist organization.
Sorry, what's that?
I'm trying to remember if this was before or after Antifa got marked as a terrorist organization or one of those organizations.
A couple of days.
Yeah. So I feel like it would have been a lot less tone deaf if the Antifa was done first and then the coin.
I mean, how do you know which one was in the pipe? What if they were filed at the same time? What I'm saying is that you're being overly. I think you're being overly judgmental in lieu of actionable information. What's going to happen is like 5 years from now, someone's going to write a memoir that might shed some light into this. Mm-hmm. But even then, it's going to be like highly controversial, and who knows how long stuff took. The problem is that a lot of people use this sort of thing to undermine the Trump administration and create dichotomies where there is no dichotomy. It's like,
yeah, and I agree with you, but at the same time, it's sort of like there is a perception, and that isn't.
Who makes the perception?
Like, you don't want to make cracks where there were none.
When would be a good time to propose this coin?
Honestly, I'd say like 6 months to a year after. I wouldn't do it immediately.
That's your opinion.
Sorry, I'm reading the comment.
Feel free. Okay, let me put this to you and any viewer right now. Are you looking for good news or bad news? If you're looking for good news, you're in the good faith club.
Yeah.
If you're looking for bad news, you're in the bad faith club. If you're looking for bad news, that means you're looking for any possibility that something might be bad and that things are not timed well. You're in the bad faith club.
I'm in the good faith club.
If you're in the bad faith club. If you're in the good faith club, you're just sort of like, that's good. All right. Stuff happens. What did it undermine? I don't understand. Like, if it happened now or 6 months from now, how's that any worse or better? Like, stuff is happening you have to have a bad faith view of the Trump administration to think that like this is blocking or in the way of Antifa being declared a terrorist organization.
Well, the thing is, I would like to have seen more done and then the coin be the icing on the cake. I want the cake under it first. And then the icing
You want order of operations.
Yeah, I think it's more of an order of operations where people feel like the order of operations is off.
What if I told you in 6 months from now, no one's going to remember Charlie Kirk in terms of the greater like political sphere? We're going to have moved on because 10 years is happening in the time of 10 days. right now.
Unfortunately, that's correct. And I think you're right, even though I don't want you to be.
Yeah.
I mean, but his organization does live on, so I mean, to some degree, it's sort of like Breitbart.
Yeah.
Where it's sort of like he brought so many people up that we may still be talking about him for years to come. But I mean, when it's politically expedient, it may not be him.
I guess what I'm saying is like, are you willing to find criticisms in the cracks versus not, I guess. What I'm saying is right now is we have a problem on the right where everyone is like pants shittingly retardedly asking for everything to be done right now and then some things to be done later. And it's just this absolute knob twiddling level of micromanagement from the audience that makes it so the Trump administration is not actually able to function.
Yeah, I agree with you. But at the same time, it's like, even with my work, there's a list of priorities of what do I do first. And that just kind of seems like a weird thing to put forward that quickly. I know it's probably because it's a small thing that can be done quickly. But at the same time, it's sort of like you have this momentum. Why would you not use the momentum to hammer out these gigantic problems first when you have the momentum behind you to do so?
You keep saying first like there's an order of operations. I'm saying there's multiple organizations in the government that do things in parallel.
I agree. But I mean, from a narrative perspective.
Okay, narrative is just perception. But perception is flavored by your what you come into it. Bad faith, good faith, accelerationist, trust the planist.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Anyways, what's happening right now is you're seeing a lot of the accelerationists completely crashing out because they want stuff really fast and it's not happening. So the Civil War already over. Cosma is out in the, by the way, I've been in the wilderness between Las Vegas and Los Angeles that he's probably going through right now, and it is very desolate. So he probably has no signal whatsoever, which is why he's gone.
I've been through it too. Is he going through the mountains?
I don't know. I'm sort of guessing. He's from Phoenix, Arizona. He's going up to Los Angeles. I'm gonna look that up. The deal is the Civil War already over, right?
Is it ever over?
Right, exactly. So what is the Civil War even, right? We're as you've said backstage and right now is that like we're kind of always at war, are we not?
Well, I mean, if you define war as a hot war, then there are periods of where it starts and where it ends, and then there's treaties that signify, okay, it's officially over. But when you're talking about the sort of new war, when there's Cold War and things of that nature, it's sort of like, does it really ever start? Does it really ever end?
This is Alex's ride right now. Cosmo's ride. It's like 5.5 hours to the oh yes, Prescott, Arizona. I used to live in Prescott. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, they love their meth. They love methamphetamines in Prescott.
Oh Lord,
what is this? Come on, Grand Canyon Railway. Okay, I'll check that out later. Yes, the problem with the Civil War people is they have it's the same thing as the nothing ever happens people, is they have a sliding scale where it's like they always have some fantastical level of what is a civil war or what is a happening that we never ever reach. But I think we've been
to ask Samson about that with the nothing ever happens. It's sort of like, well, what do you expect to happen?
Yeah.
For something to have happened.
Like for America, something happening is like a 3% tax on
tea.
Yeah, on tea. And we're just gonna go ape shit. We're gonna start like burning tax collectors alive. For the Civil War, the civil is doing. Yeah, exactly. For the Civil War, the civil is doing the heavy lifting right now, as opposed to the war part. Right now, it's basically shit talking one side to the other, just demoralizing. America may never reach a civil war ever, and why the Tim Pools and the Aaron McIntyres are full of shit, I think, is that any kinetic element of it is going to be criminal in nature and not militant in nature. Does that make sense?
So
Criminal
more
versus
individuals that are running based on ideology rather than full-scale guerrilla warfare. I don't want to say standing armies, because standing armies is now kind of a thing of the past, but I mean, like, guerrilla warfare would probably be more accurate to today's standards.
Yeah, criminals are typically disavowed. They're singular. Their impact is also limited. We could lose a Charlie Kirk. We could probably lose dozens of Charlie Kirks, to be honest.
I'd rather not.
Yeah, it is what it, exactly. We'd rather not, absolutely. But we could. And the right is kind of willing to wait because and I think the right is willing to endure it, and the left is willing to stop it because it's for the same reason. It's not very good for the left to continue doing it. If it was good for the left to do it, they'd do it a hell of a lot more. The fact they have to keep it secret and disavow it is very encouraging, actually.
Yeah, but I also feel like there's a lot of crazies on the left, so I feel like
you're not wrong.
Yeah, so I feel like they're just going to keep popping up as long as the crazy exists, and the crazy is always going to exist.
But on number station delineates that something is happening versus does it actually affect his daily life? True.
I feel like that's very different to a lot of people. Like, for me, the government shutdown actually matters. For most people, it doesn't.
Yeah. You've been super busy today, eh?
Oh, God, today. I thought, government shutdown, I'm going to have nothing to do.
I bought a very... Well, yeah, you have a lot to do, apparently, actually.
Yeah, good Lord. There's so much panic, and it's like... Earlier, I made the joke of me to all of the people that make like 1.5 to 5 times my salary. It's like, don't panic. That was my day, like, yesterday.
That's too funny. They should have saved it. They should have saved their money.
Well, the thing is that we do a lot of subcontracting, and the subcontracting doesn't really have a hand in that. We just get paid by whoever holds the money, who is the prime contract.
The that's the environment they're in, right? There's a lot of benefits being a government contractor is that you don't. I mean, it's a bit of risk. It's high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they know what they're getting into. And they've been through this before. They'll be all right.
So, but one of the things that I'm definitely hearing on the inside is that both sides kind of want it to go on, like even the Democrats. I feel like it shouldn't be for the Democrats. I feel like they should see this as a loss. But
yeah, isn't that interesting? Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't understand why the Democrats want to keep this going.
Yeah, I don't either. It's like, why wouldn't you just give them the win? But yeah, because I mean, who are a lot of the Democrat voters? You know, people that have been in government for long periods of time. They are very pro-government. They're very pro-Democrat. It's Trump that's on the side of we wanted to dismantle all this stuff. He's the one that brought forth Doge.
Right.
So you would think that they would consider not paying government workers a huge loss.
Yeah, I feel like the Democrats don't have a lot to stand on their side. You know what I mean? Like, the budget for all the stuff that Trump wants is already passed.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So
that's a big, beautiful bill.
Yeah, it's so confusing to me. I hear that it's AOC and the very far leftists that are pushing the moderate Democrats into doing this nonsense. Is that? What do you think of that?
I have no idea. Like, I haven't looked into a lot of the politics just because I've been so ridiculously busy.
Yeah.
But I do know the Chuck Schumer because the freaking sombrero. Oh my god, that was hilarious.
I predict that Chuck Schumer, this is his last push. I think AOC is seeing blood in the water. I think Chuck Schumer is probably gone in terms of influence. This is probably his last hurrah. And if it fails, he's gone, like in terms of influence. Like, you notice how Pelosi is also gone, right? She's already lost enough battles.
It's
Chuck
kind
Schumer
of weird too, because it's like all of these politicians are so old. They've been in government for forever, and we're finally starting to get to see a lot of the new blood emerge.
Right. One thing that the benign number station brings up is they don't want to let it go because they bet all their chips on the fact that illegals might be able to vote eventually. Trump is zeroing in on this. As a matter of fact, I bet if this funding even went through, Trump would use this Medicaid stuff to find illegals and then purge them.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you, right? Like, if they don't have a valid social security number, or if it's suspect, like by the Doge people. The Doge people were pretty good about finding bad social security numbers.
Yeah.
They would start going after and purging them.
Oh man, I wish
clearing the voter rolls.
I wish more would go into Doge and all of the clearing of the government. This amount of money that gets wasted, even just in my field, which is the Department of War.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Well, the Department of War was one of the ones they didn't touch very much. And they were kind of going after a lot of the other bullshit stuff like USAID.
Yeah, I know. That needs to go too. I'm so glad it's gone. Department of Education, all that stuff.
Yes.
Clear it.
Yeah. I think right now what they're going to do right now is use the shutdown as an excuse to shut all that down.
That would be great. I mean, another Trump win if that's the case.
They seem to be using it for that, right?
Yeah.
Like if you follow Vought.
I just hope on a personal level that, the people can sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Be stalwart enough to get through this. You know what I mean?
Well, the people who are employees?
Not just the employees, but, my company.
Oh, contractors, all.
Yeah, all that stuff
more
to sort of like withstand this whole mess. But
what's going to happen? I think you're going to be okay, because right now the U.S. Department of War is going to want more war machines. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the if you pay attention, yeah.
You want to make the engineers build their own little toys, like that. Have them build all the cool shit.
Well, also, like, their directives for the up until now have been bullshit, probably because they had a bullshit Department of Defense over them. Right now, they're even looking for Jeep replacements. Like, if you look at Fat Electrician's channel, there's this open chassis, sort of dune buggy looking thing that's meant to be cheap, fast, logistically sound, and help troops get there. And it's a replacement for the Humvee in a lot of cases. So there's going to be a lot. There's going to be war is changing a lot.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah. And right now we're getting...
I remember hearing about the, what were they? The drones that were made out of cardboard? And whether or not they could be picked up on scanners. So they basically make these cheap suicide drones that they strap a bomb to made out of cardboard. I think it was like Australia that did it. And then it was a thing of, well, can our radars even pick up these things?
Right.
It's cardboard. Anyway.
That's what, yes. Yeah. We're trying to stick to the topics, and I'm like looking at like Civil War already over. It's like kind of the Civil War is already over. The Democrats just don't have any gas left to spend.
Yeah. And
the conservatives have all of the fun left to have. It's our playing field. So, I mean, I didn't want to do it so fast. But yes, like the Civil War is kind of already over in the United States. People thought that we would have a Civil War in the U.S.
Yeah.
But I think the right's just winning straight up. I heard someone say to the effect of like, why won't the right turn down the temperature? And I was thinking to myself, does the right even have a reason to turn down the temperature?
Well, I feel like that the Civil War is kind of ended because the right is heating up and is putting their foot down.
Right. As soon as we actually swiped little sister across the face, like she gone, she done.
I feel like the reason that people have been so passive and things got as bad as it was because the left just kept getting away with a lot of their evil shenanigans, and then sort of when the moral authority went to the right, and the right just swapped, as you said.
As Naive is saying here, the social media is the new information warfare landscape, right?
Yeah.
The new warfare is entirely memes. The great thing about good positions is that you can withstand ridicule.
Yeah.
Right? Like we can make
better
fun
than guns or the flying cardboard drones.
Yeah, and to benign number station's point here is that right now the left is actually in a civil war. The right there is a civil war, but the right is completely excused from it, I think. Right now we're just having an inquisition where, okay, this is something I've described to Alex Cosma offline, but the right is an inquisitorial machine baked out of a decade of I guess oppression, right? Right. So the right at the moment is extremely good at background checks, researching your history, all this crazy like 4chan level craziness that would happen, right? The right is fantastic at investigation and just kill shots that destroy your reputation in one go. But the kill shots have to be legitimate. Yep. So the right is an inquisitorial machine, and they will find something that will destroy your reputation in one go and then hit it. So that's what I think the right's going to do, is that they're going to continue to perform this because the thing is that machine doesn't stop, right? The person who learned how to do that at the age of 18 on 4chan is not going to unlearn how to do that at the age of 38. They're just going to keep doing it forever because it's just what they do.
Until like that generation eventually dies off, and then the new generations kind of becomes cushy. Exactly,
and then we're to face that when it comes. If there's clout to be had, hopefully that will continue on. It seems like there is. The left is now splintering between AOC and the Chuck Schumer generation. Pelosi's gone. I don't see her. I think she's not mentally with it, or else we'd see her more. Yeah, I haven't seen a single press release from her for.
I haven't seen much on the Pelosi stocks. Have you seen that X page where it's like the Pelosi trading stocks thing? I'm like, is she still trading stocks? Because I feel like that would be a better check.
Understood. I'm just gonna say no problem. Howdy do.
Enjoy your dinner.
Yeah, man. Enjoy it, man. We're winding down here. Is that right now the left is going through a civil war between their extremists and their pragmatists, and the extremists are going to eventually win because the extremists have the energy, but the extremists are also absolute fucking morons, which is easy prey for the rights.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to get destroyed. Every win that they make, it is 5 losses for them. If Mom Donnie wins in New York, it's going to be a baton to beat everybody else of his ilk for decades. Mm-hmm. So every time they win, it's a greater loss. Every time they lose, it's just a 0. It just goes away. So they have nowhere to go. They have no philosophy whatsoever. They kind of relied on America having incredible economic surpluses, and that's very much gone.
Yeah. So, and I really hope that the economy gets better just based on how a lot of people I know, it's like drowning in debt. That's awful, especially for the younger generation who can't afford homes, can't afford to have kids, struggling to make it.
The younger generation, I think what might save them is if there's a idea of a company town like Huntsville, Alabama. It's like, come to Huntsville, make your future kind of thing.
No, don't come here. It's fine.
It might get bigger. You never know. Some place where there's stuff to be done, right?
We've had so many imports from California and New York.
Yeah.
It's noticeable. We went from a really, sort of a small city to the biggest city in the state in my lifetime.
I'll have to go visit it again soon.
Please do.
Yeah. The thing is that the younger generation is going to need to have some place to go to learn to be civilized, because right now they don't have the American family has also failed in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
The American family has failed in quite a number of ways, in which they're going to need to have company towns with their own other forces, like evangelical Christians doing missionary work, and other movements in there to try to fill it in.
Well, I mean, traditionally, when economic situations are rough like this, usually you depend on your family and you build sort of these bigger families. And I think we've talked about this before.
Yes.
Where you have like even in my house, I live with my parents and I take care of my parents who are elderly. And then you would have the family that works, the grandparents who take care of the children. You have this sort of ecosystem of a giant family. And that really isn't how a lot of people in America live their lives. Like, a lot of young people don't want to deal with their parents at all. Like, that relationship is broken. But it's what's necessary. And I feel like maybe there's a reconciliation that needs to happen between the generations in order for us to economically survive. But it's sort of like these things that were, methods in the past to weather these storms. Because if you think about the boomers are the ones with a lot of the wealth. And a lot of the boomers, the joke is that they, devoured their own children.
I mean, it's tough because you shouldn't need wealth. If you need wealth to make families, you are not going on the right path to begin with. You know what I mean?
I agree with you, but at the same time, it's like you don't want people to starve.
They're not going to starve.
Drowning.
That's why I take affront to the thing of like, okay, you don't have money, therefore you're going to starve. It's like, no, you can be poor and not starve.
Yeah.
It's like, are you willing to take less than what your parents had?
And I agree, because that's going to be how it is. Yeah.
Like for me, I grew up like bread, bologna, mayonnaise, and that was what I ate. I was like, I lived fine. The problem is that we have a major step down in standard of living that people are going to have to accept or not accept. For me, I prepared very early on in my youth to be an earner, and I worked very hard to learn the skills I needed to earn. And now I work like 2 to 4 hours a day, and I make enough for me and my wife to live comfortably. That's not easy.
Yeah. And I feel like there's things that you can do to mitigate this, like, and these are things that are handed down to us from our parents. You know what I mean?
I do. And the parents are American culture has gotten very perverted. Like, Naib's here says, like, we need to learn how to build families after the sexual revolution. The thing is, like, all families, I am accused of being very misogynistic, and I'm going to have to have a full-on misogynistic cast sometime. I believe that all families start with the man who has his shit together. And you just have to have your shit together, but also have the discernment as a man to know who should be your wife or not. And then settle from there, because you're kind of the settler. You're like the one who goes off into the West before everyone else. And you're supposed to settle the land, and then people join you. And they couldn't live without you, and you could live without them. But you choose to sacrifice and work to build something for the other people to live in, you have to forego concepts such as fairness. You have to forego concepts such as division of labor, and just be okay with being the man who is in charge of everything. But you need to also hold the discernment of like, yes, I decide who's going to be here and who isn't. And that's very difficult to assert. You have to have a lot of, like, dare I say, you have to be willing to like let go of futures. You have to be willing to kill futures before they actually show up. You know what I mean? Like, there's a pretty girl and you're like, I don't think she's the right one, but like, oh man, she's really pretty. It's like, nah, cut her loose.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Sarah Plain and Tall is a fantastic story, and you should all read it and understand it. That to me is the real, like, all the fairy tales are like really nice, but Sarah Plain and Tall is like the real shit.
Oh yeah, like so. There was a post I saw earlier about this guy who was complaining about how there's no woman who's, you know, a virgin and this, that, and the other thing of all of these virtues and goes to church and this, that, and the other, like a whole laundry list of things. And someone just replied, like this and is not mid-blow. You know what I mean? Or it's sort of like, basically, he's looking for this ideal perfect woman and then saying the ideal perfect woman who's beautiful and all this other, you know, beautiful, virtuous, is in their 30s, blah, 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 exists. And it's sort of like, you basically want your fantasy girl.
Yes. Yeah. The thing is I tell men and women both is that you're always settling because reality is never as good as your fantasy.
Yep.
So which means you have to know what's good enough for you. We're kind of like off the topics, of course, but like we're in the after show right now. 2 hours is typically the normal show.
Yeah.
The after show here is let me just turn off the banner. Is how do you make civilization right now, given what you have? And given what you have to be willing to settle with what you have. I saw one person complaining that like, oh, all the women in my area are overweight. I was like, well, guess what? You're gonna have an overweight wife. Are you okay with that? As soon as you become okay with it, you actually open yourself to the possibility of doing better. Like it's like finding your keys, is that you have to sort of stop looking for them because the frustration of trying to find the right person ends up making the right person repelled against you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Adds desperation.
Well, the thing is that it's like if her being fat is the only issue, I mean, go to a gym.
Yes, fat can be fixed. Yeah, you can fix that. Same thing for men. Like if there's a fat guy and he's like, man, I wish I was a little bit thinner. It's like you can kind of like encourage him to lose weight and just provide him the positive reinforcement. Me and Alex Cosma had this discussion a while ago. Is that people think that their personalities are this like deep well, this ocean of wonder that's below. It's like, no, most people's personalities is like ankle deep. And it's all just rewards and penalties that drive most of people. And your personality doesn't actually play that big of a factor in it. So if you can give benefits and penalties for doing the right behaviors, you pretty much bring people to where they need to be.
I was about to say, that's kind of depressing.
It's kind of true. It's like if someone said like, that's actually kind of the male journey, to be honest. Mm-hmm. It's like if some lady was like, I wish I had a guy that memorized Shakespearean sonnets. It's like, well, the guy's going to go and learn some Shakespearean sonnets. Doesn't matter if he likes them or not. And you know what? He'll probably learn to like them as she continues to reward him romantically with his effort. You know what I mean?
Kind of, yeah.
Most people just respond to rewards.
I'm thinking
women
of,
will think they're.
I know you're not anime, but I was thinking of an anime called oh god, what is it? It's oh no, the name escaped me. I forget it.
But 9 Numbers knows what you're talking about. Um,
It's the one that was One Punch Man. It was the other one. It's not One Punch Man. It's but same author.
I'm not sure. Cosmo might know, but he's out.
Mob Psycho 100. That's what it is. Part of the joke of Mob Psycho is that he fell in love with the girl, and the girl is super into muscly dudes, and Mob is a psychic, and he has ridiculously powerful psychic abilities, like beyond what anyone has ever seen before. But the girl he likes muscly dudes, and that is his that's his Achilles heel. He sucks at anything physical. But you want to know what he does? He joins the muscly man going to go run all these things, going to go build up those muscles club so that he can get the girl he wants.
Yeah.
Because that's what she wants.
Guys will do crazy shit to get girls to like them. Absolutely. The only thing guys really want, we don't want to be less strenuous. We just want to be more straightforward. Because if it was like, oh yeah, if you become a fantastic chef, then we as women will love you. Then the guy would just go and become a great chef. No problem. The fact right now is like men have a real problem because women don't seem to know what they want. Because it's all very
problem. Women never know what they want.
Well, the thing is, here's the thing I'd say is that no one's been telling women. I think women need a man to tell women what they want.
Well, I feel like the wisdom that was handed down through the mothers has been lost for the most part.
Well, I don't know what that wisdom is other than like practical stuff, right? But I guess what I'm saying is that someone needs to tell ladies what they want because I don't think women know what they want. But that's part of my grand unified theory of women that I have not even made a script of yet. I have a script, by the way, of like how men train their women to divorce them. It's very funny. I started analyzing a lot of men's behavior and realizing that like actually you're rewarding your wife for being angry all the time.
Yep.
Like the fact that you only give her flowers when she's mad at you means that she's going to have to be mad at you if she wants flowers. Like little stuff like that. Just it's pure Pavlovian.
There's a lot of attitude in men that also drives me crazy, where it's sort of like, I'm a person that likes to be efficient. It's sort of like when I ask you to do something, please just do it and be done and over with. But then there's the whole thing of, oh, the woman is nagging me. Nag, 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 nag. And then I don't want to ask him anymore because then he's going to throw a fit. I'm like, that is such a childish thing to do. Just do
yeah, you're dealing with boys, not men. Yeah, you're dealing with boys, not men. For me, like, anytime my wife asks me to do something, I just do it immediately, like very expeditiously.
Yeah, and then it's no longer a problem. And then everybody's happy.
Yeah, you're dealing with boys.
Yeah, that's the problem. That is my major problem. Oh my God.
Yeah,
it's like, please just, be reasonable. Please just be an adult. That is my problem with the men around me who are single anyway, not the married ones. And a lot of the married ones aren't that bad, which is probably why they're married.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, the single guys, I wish I could share this. I have to like find the picture and see if it doesn't have my personal identifying information on it. So I can find it. I have here we go. All right, let's see if I can share this. God, Windows is, what the fuck? Windows is ass. Sorry, I'm just like trying to present this thing as sucks.
I remember when Windows 7 was a thing and it was great. And then Windows decided, oh no, it's too good. We got to get rid of it and go with this worthless Windows 10.
Yeah. All right, this is what I look like. This is what I used to look like way back in the day. I look like some Indian IT professional.
Oh God.
I'm gonna look at it. There you go. It took years of marriage before I got refined beyond this. To be like reasonable. You know what I'm saying? And it takes work to make a man into a husband, and it's usually after marriage. No man or woman is ready for marriage at the time of marriage. It's a painful process. That's why when you first fall in love, you're so infatuated with the other person. It's to blind you to their horrendously massive faults.
I thought you were gonna say flaws, but yeah, good enough. Yeah.
Faults, flaws. Exactly. Yeah. All right. Do we want to cover anything else? What is the right now? I don't know if we want to talk about that at the moment. We did talk about it a little bit briefly. Yeah, we talked about it briefly, in that the right is extremely inquisitorial by nature right now because they've been fighting the enemy for so long. That machine is not going to turn off. The right is going to continue to inquire. It is just in its nature. Okay. Civil War is kind of already done. The left blows at it. Yes. Yes, absolutely. By the way, this is really this is not politically correct or Christian. If you go out to places where you are sort of a single serving dude, like just for the night, flirt with women, see how it goes. I've gotten to a point where women will just flirt with me and enjoy my company. And including my hairdresser, who like does my hair. She gives me the Elvis style. If you can do that, you're doing pretty well. But you should be very easy and fun to be around for women. Here's a great thing to liberate you men from the problem is that women don't actually care about you. Women only care about themselves. Now you're thinking like, oh, that's a bad thing, isn't it? It's like, no, that means if you're funny, you could be short and ugly. But if you can make the women feel good, they'll be well into it. Which is why like short, ugly dudes do land women. There's nothing really stopping you from doing well. It's about how, and your charisma is just how good are you at manipulating how those women feel about themselves. Here's a quick tip in passing, just a quick tip. This is a sample. If you see a group, you will see the death of your night and the life of your night will be between these two things. I'm going to show you how to make your night lively versus dead. If you see a group of women walking by you, do not compliment one of the women. Okay? Because that will create internal competition in that woman group, and they're all going to purge it, and they're going to reject you violently because you are now a threat. Okay? However, if you compliment all of them, it's like all of you women are so good. If you walk by like 5 girls and you're in Nashville having a good time, he's like, all you women are so gorgeous tonight. My goodness me. They're all going to feel good. And whoever of that group wants to go talk to you will then talk to you. In other words, what I'm saying is fish with a net, not with a line. You are not there to target. You are there to solicit as a man. And whoever responds to it, then you respond back. But you do not single out women because it makes them feel self-insecure, especially if they're in a group. So cast your compliments out wide to the group and also be okay with what you get. Have fun. If you're not attracted to the lady who responds, that's fine. Go have some drinks. That's just what ladies experience every fucking time they talk to a man. Because men are not very attractive. Just roll with it. Have fun with the night. If you're there to have fun, you'll do well. If you're there to do something untoward, you're going to get rejected. That's just women's instincts working properly. Yeah. So go out and have fun. Make women feel good. If anything makes women feel put out, don't do it. Women will band together. Stories of women's internal competition and jealousy, any stories of that are well exaggerated. They will gladly destroy you before they destroy any of each other. So yeah,
that's true too. Yes.
So that's my quick tips. Not something you'd hear from a normal like alpha male red pill podcaster. I'm a Taoist. I cut with the grain, not across it. So, well, this is well off the subject matter of the night, and I'm ready to.
Well off.
Yeah, and I'm ready to conclude. Everyone who's been following us, reading poetry in my house. I don't know that movie, by the way, How the Doodler. I will look it up. Everybody who's been here, I appreciate you being here. Wish you all a good evening, good night, rest well. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Milk and cigarettes, but the only difference is we're coming back next week. We will see you on Thursday at 5 p.m. And have a good one.
Bye.
All right. Bye, everybody.